everybody. I all know why you're here. We all know why you're here and all of that. So I'm just going to cut right to the chase. The Diddy indictment, the criminal charges have been unsealed. He was supposed to be arrested today. For some reason, he ended up getting arrested yesterday, last night. And we were told last night, I did go live, that we were about to get the indictment. It was about to, happen, and it sure did happen. And here we are to read it as promised. So, yeah, this is not legal advice. I do need to say that. Welcome to all the members in the chat. Welcome to the members. Welcome to the moderators. Welcome to everybody else. Okay, let me pull up this indictment. All right, here we go. Fresh off the presses, 10:15 a.m. This was unsealed less than an hour ago to the public. All right, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, the United States of America. That's us. That's we the people. Versus Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Diddy PD, and Love PD. Okay, here's the criminal case number 24 Crim 542. I will look this case number up in the Pacer after we read this. Probably there's not going to be anything else. Maybe there'll be some transcripts or something. All right. What's the first count? Racketeering conspiracy. This is under the RICO statute, I believe. All right. What are they saying? Oh, and it's only 14 pages long, so we will be able to read it all. For decades, this is what it says. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Diddy PD Love, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire, including TriStar Sports and Entertainment, Louise Mary Sawyer Taylor. And it says he led and controlled this multifaceted business empire, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Okay. So these are the things the crimes that he's being accused of. Now, in a racketeering conspiracy charge, from what I understand, this is not legal advice. In a racketeering conspiracy charge, you're actually charging an enterprise, a group of people who were conspiring to commit certain crimes, and then you have to actually enumerate what the crimes were that they were committing. And here we are being told in the first paragraph of the Diddy indictment that the crimes that they are alleging he is doing under the racketeering statute are forced labor, which is slavery, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And none of that particularly comes as a surprise to me, because I've been following some of the allegations and many of the lawsuits pertaining to Diddy. All right, paragraph 2. Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, Love, operated his business, headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, and Combs Global. So they're going to call these the Combs businesses, but it just means it's like all of the businesses. Probably means Sean John and all that too, but we'll see. Okay. His entities in these businesses included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, that's the Sean John, alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and a media company. At all times relevant to this indictment, Diddy engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and you all. As part of his pattern of abuse, he manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of activity with male commercial workers. So this is what we did here Cassie telling us in her lawsuit, and we've seen it time and again since that lawsuit. The allegation is that Diddy manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of S activity with male commercial S workers. Okay, so this is one of the allegations being made against Diddy here. At times, Diddy and others acting at his direction made arrangements for women and commercial S workers to fly to Diddy's location. Diddy ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and by using intimidation and violence. Physical abuse by Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs was recurrent and widely known. So they're talking now about the physical aspects of this type of abuse. On numerous occasions, from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Diddy assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. Okay. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a Los Angeles hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Diddy kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. And we've seen that video. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Diddy attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Okay, so now we're being told in the federal indictment, in the criminal charges, that the federal government has adopted Cassie's view that, from her lawsuit, that Diddy paid them off, paid the staff off. It says Diddy's violence was not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. So far, I will say, we are on page 3 of the indictment. We just started page 3. Nothing new. Haven't heard nothing new. Now it's new because it's an indictment, and now we're seeing what's in the indictment. But as expected, and as we've all been expecting for months, I mean, the greater part of this year, this is pretty much all just based on Lil Rod Jones's lawsuit and Cassie's. I mean, all these allegations have been encompassed in those 2 lawsuits so far. I mean, we're only on page 3 out of 14. So let's read further. Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse in commercial sex. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors and other close associates, acted as Combs intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. Okay, so this paragraph is basically just saying another thing we already knew, that he used his business, and through the use of his businesses, he had employees carry out, facilitate, and cover up his actions. Okay, so now this section is called the Combs Enterprise. From at least in or about 2008 through the date of the filing of this indictment, which I don't know what the exact date of this indictment is, but we'll just say 2024. Diddy and others were members and associates of a criminal organization. Okay, so here's the black and white from at least 2008. Okay, so they're not tracing this all the way back. This is important to me. They're not tracing this all the way back to 1994 or 1992 or 1989, whenever Diddy was running through the hallways of the dorms at the Howard University, allegedly, and beating up the women. No. They're only going back to 2008. I do wonder why. I mean, that was the year Britney was put in her conservatorship. That was the year that Lou Taylor started really rising to prominence. Oh, no. Y'all see my little wheel turning? That's not going to be good if that stops working. It's probably because everybody and their mom is trying to be on StreamYard right now. Also, if y'all are in the chat, hi, hello. I'm not going to be reading the chats right now because I don't want to get distracted from this document. But we will do a little Q&A and a little roundup after I'm done with the indictment. Okay, so they're saying from 2008 through today, the filing of the indictment, Diddy and others were members and associates of a criminal organization, and they're going to be calling this criminal organization the Enterprise. Okay, and that's in the legal statutes. So if you see the Combs Enterprise, they're literally saying this criminal organization. Okay, the criminal organization is the Combs Enterprise. Members and associates of this criminal organization engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, as trafficking, forced labor, which is slavery, interstate transportation for purposes of stitution, coercion, enticement to engage in stitution. I'm just saying we need to look into Mark Lata and Adam Grand Mason if this stuff is actually criminal. I'm not saying they're criminals. I'm not saying they did this stuff. What I said was exactly what I said. It needs to be looked into. We need to be looking into it because coercion and incitement to engage in institution. I'm not saying they did that. I'm saying it needs to be investigated. Okay. Narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. So they're saying, the government is saying, this is what Diddy and his criminal enterprise did do. And look here, they're calling it the Combs Enterprise. So they're trying to say he was the leader of the enterprise. And to be honest with y'all, that doesn't sit right with me. I don't think he was. I think he has bosses too. Okay. And I think we need to keep going up. Clive Davis, where you at, baby? Lucian Grange, where you at, baby? Because I think it needs to be called the Combs Grange, Davis Enterprises. I don't really know. Innocent until proven guilty. I'm just saying, it's not sitting right with me. Members and associates of this criminal enterprise engage. Oh, we already read that. Okay. So now let's go to paragraph 7. The Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by the statute. And what is the definition of an enterprise by this statute? And they give it to us right here. It is a group of individuals associated in fact, although not a legal entity. All right. Well, where is Robin Marie Greenhill, girl? Because I'm ready. Giddy up. So they define the enterprise. The enterprise is defined by statute as a group of individuals associated in fact, even though they're not a legal entity, meaning maybe they're not all members of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs Enterprises LLC or something, but they are in fact working together. That's how the statute defines it, we're told. This criminal enterprise consisted of, they're going to name some of the names. The enterprise consisted of Diddy, okay, they're saying he's the leader. Entities within the Combs business, including but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, Combs Global. Individuals employed by and associated with the Combs businesses. I'm just going to leave this green right here because I have a tingle that Robin Greenhill is getting brought into this. And if she don't, I'll be upset. And others. Okay. The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs Enterprise. So I think they just have to say that by statute. That's how it's defined. The enterprise was engaged in, and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs Enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. At all times relevant to this indictment, Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs was the leader. Okay, so here's something else, all right? He was the leader of the Combs Enterprise, which does not sit right with me. So he better start squealing. Or maybe he was. Maybe his stupid ass can't even keep his mouth closed when he's breathing. Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, who was really the leading mastermind behind all of this. It definitely wasn't Lou Taylor. It definitely wasn't Clive Davis. It definitely wasn't any of these Barry Weiss types or any. No, it was somebody too stupid to even close their mouth while they breathe. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. Y'all are going to have to come up with something better than that if you want to convince me. Okay. Now, I do think he was ahead of stuff. Don't get me wrong. He was definitely ahead of some stuff. But it's like he got a daddy too, if you know what I mean. Okay, it says Sean Combs, the defendant, and others known and unknown participated in unlawful and other activities related to the conduct of the Combs Enterprises affairs. These individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of his security staff, household staff, personal assistants, high-ranking supervisors. I'm making everything green that I think could be associated with TriStar, as well as other close associates of Combs. I'm just making all this. Okay. Now they have to tell us the purpose of the enterprise. So they're going to do that in this section, hopefully. I mean, that's what it's titled. Paragraph 11 says the purposes of the enterprise included the following. And what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 purposes. Okay, they're about to give us 8 purposes enumerated. Number 1, or letter A, operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, a television network, and a media company. Okay, so that was one of the purposes, was operating a global business in the media, okay, which he did do. So if that was one of the purposes of the enterprise, well, that was successful because we all know who he is and we're all here because we know who he is. The second purpose of the enterprise, we're told, is preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of Diddy. Now, so far, these don't seem like illegal purposes. You can operate a global business in the media, and of course, you can attempt to preserve, protect, and promote and enhance your own power and reputation of your own brand. I mean, I think every single company in the world probably does that, or they should, or else, they're probably not doing it right. Okay. The third purpose was supposedly to enrich members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, and in particular those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. This looks like the first place I'm seeing under the purposes where anything looks improper, right? You don't want to enrich somebody who's concealing crimes. Another purpose was to allegedly preserve, protect, promote, and enhance the power of Combs' enterprise, including of its leader through violence, use of Second Amendment pew-pews, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and abuse. Fulfilling the personal desire. Okay. So we'll put this because this looks like a little bit criminal allegation. The next purpose, fulfilling the personal desires of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, particularly those related to his sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial workers. In and of itself, use of commercial workers is not necessarily a crime. Then again, I guess it depends because stuff can be federally illegal, and this is a federal indictment. So I would need to look through the statutes more, but it is saying here, letter E of the enumerated purposes is that one of the purposes was to fulfill Diddy's personal desires, and in particular, his sexual gratification. Okay, that was one of the purposes of the enterprise, which in and of itself, I also don't feel like is necessarily illegal, but then whenever you add on to it, exploitation and perhaps, commercial workers, which maybe could be criminal depending on which jurisdiction it had occurred in and what time and all of that. The next purpose, we are told, is enabling Combs and other members and associates to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including sexual violence, trafficking, forced labor, which is slavery, interstate transportation for the purposes of prostitution, which is criminal. And that is criminal because it involves interstate commerce, which puts it on a federal level, which is definitely, no gray area there. Coercion and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics distribution, and other crimes, concealing the commission of these acts. Another purpose was to secure the absolute loyalty from members of the enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats. Another is, and then the final purpose that we are told of the Combs enterprise was, quote, protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Diddy, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. Okay, so the last purpose of the enterprise that we are given here, or that is alleged, is to protect Diddy by doing all of this stuff to law enforcement, right? Like protect them, Diddy and his associates, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement through what? Intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats. Okay. So something else they're going to have to prove in this case if they're going to be successful and successfully convict Diddy is they're going to have to also say, how did they use the enterprise to effectuate these illegal or unlawful means? So this is the section called Means and Methods. Paragraph 12 says, among the means and methods which Diddy and other members of the enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise included the following. A. Diddy and other members and associates of the enterprise wielded the power of prestige of Combs's role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Diddy's orbit. Often, or often, depending on how you say it, under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Okay, so again, this is a good because we're seeing it now in a formal federal indictment. These are charges which are being brought against Diddy. This isn't just a civil case where one person has to come up with the money to sue someone. This is the full force of the law. So that's a good thing. But I just want to say just one more time again, so far none of this stuff is very specific, for one. And none of it is new. We already knew all this, right? What did they do? What were the means and methods? Well, he wielded his power and prestige and, money to intimidate and threaten and lure female victims in, for one, just one type of victim. He would use these powerful positions and his power and his money and his prestige and his infamy, his being famous, in order to lure female victims in, is what we're being told, into his orbit, often under the pretense that they were going to be in a romantic relationship. Okay. He would then use force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended S acts with male commercial S workers that Diddy referred to, among other things, as freak-offs. The freak-offs were elaborate and produced performances that Combs arranged, directed himself during, and often recorded electronically. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial S workers across state lines and internationally. The FOs occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days. Again, this is all stuff that we've heard from Cassie and Lil Rod combined. If you take both of the Cassie and the Lil Rod lawsuits and combine them, we've heard almost all of this already. In fact, I can't think of anything we haven't heard just from those two lawsuits in this so far. We are only on page 6, so let's read further. These FOs would occur regularly and would sometimes last multiple days, often involved multiple commercial S workers. Now, during these freak-offs, Combs would distribute a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep them obedient and compliant. Sometimes, unbeknownst to the victims, Diddy kept videos he filmed of the victims engaging in acts with commercial S workers. After FOs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and substance use. Now, this indictment goes on to say, what section are we in here? Okay, this is the means and methods. So these are the means and the methods that he used. He would use the prestige, his power, his money, threats of violence, threats of force in order to sexually gratify not only himself but others. But it does seem like they are kind of trying to paint this so far as if it is really just all of this is all going on just to satisfy Diddy sexually. That isn't going to pass the sniff test for me. Okay. But I'm glad they're making some type of progress and we'll see how it progresses. Okay. So the next paragraph says members and associates of the enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other business employees facilitated the FOs by, among other things. Okay, so how did they facilitate these FOs? They're going to tell us. Booking hotel rooms for the FOs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required FO supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. Lighting. This is kind of what I'm thinking about, y'all. Like, think about all the famous people, politicians, actors, everybody that Diddy knows and has known for the past 30 years. This has been ongoing for, I mean, by 2008, he had already been in the thing for 15 years in the industry or something already. So it's like by 2008, this didn't just pop up out of nowhere. And it's like, you mean to tell me y'all are trying to tell me all of this went down for all these years just because Diddy wanted to get his you know what wet? No, it ain't gonna pass for me. Y'all are gonna have to come up with something better than this. Somebody else has to get pulled into this, is my point. It's got pull in Prince Andrew, pull in Donald Trump, whoever y'all got to pull in, because it wasn't, the buck did not stop at Diddy, and I want to know where it stopped at, no matter what the truth is. But Diddy deserves what he has coming to. So this is what they're putting. This is what they're putting in the hotel. I mean, I guess this is slightly new information that these, specifics that the FO rooms, hotel rooms would be stocked in advance with controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, linens, lighting, cleaning the hotel rooms after the FOs to try to mitigate the room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial S workers, and of combs to and from the FOs, resupplying combs with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to combs to pay the commercial S workers. All right, make this one green real quick. Y'all know why. Who were we told did this? Who were we told by Lil Rod Jones in his lawsuit, the producer from the Off the Grid album? Lil Rod Jones said, who coordinated paying the S workers? Robin Greenhill. Robin Greenhill works at and with TriStar Sports and Entertainment, which is Britney Spears' management firm owned by Lou Taylor. Lou Taylor is largely considered at this point the mastermind behind the human trafficking conservatorship of Britney Spears. That is P. Diddy's business manager. Okay. Now, Little Rod said the business manager, Robin Greenhill, accountant is what he called her. She delivered money to these people. You got to bring somebody in. It might as well be TriStar government. It might as well be Luis Mary and Robin Greenhill. Bring them in. And scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. On or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami. Okay, so now we're being told about the residence search. Remember when they did the raid that kicked all of this off? Okay, they're talking about that. In or about March this year, during searches of Combs' residences in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. This makes me want to throw up. 1,000. This is news. Okay. This is brand new news. I should put a little red box around it because just to put like what we actually learned here today. New information. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say like, oh, we didn't learn anything. I'm glad this stuff's getting put in criminal charges. It should always been. But it's not like any of this stuff is like, oh, the government found something brand new that Cassie and Lil Rod didn't already tell us. But in this case right here, it is. So I did put the little box around it right here. And I'm trying to make it red. Where's the colors? Can I make it like that? I don't know. Oh, here it is. No? Okay, I'll do that later. Okay. So 1,000 bottles. The government said they found 1,000, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. What else did they find? What else did they find? What does that mean? I don't know anything about this. What do you mean that delivered to the what? I don't know about that. Yeah, that's what it says, y'all. I'm reading it right here. I'm reading it right here. And you mean 1,000 P. Diddy alone himself needed 1,000 bottles of lubricant. This is what I'm trying to say. This was way beyond just P. Diddy, and it was way beyond just, oh, he wanted to get his wet. No, baby, no. This was a high level, probably intel gathering operation, probably run by somebody much higher up on the totem pole, Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. Okay, this is no way that all this happened just because Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs wanted to have a freak off. If that was the case, he could have went to Skid Row and picked up 1 or 2 people. There's really no reason for all of this flying people all over the world. Oh my God, I don't buy it. I'm not buying it. Y'all got to pull Lou Taylor in if you want to satisfy me, because this ain't gonna cut it. Okay. Paragraph C. Diddy subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause them to engage in freak offs. So he forced them, is what it's trying to say. It wasn't consensual. They're already kind of, I think, anticipating. Diddy's going to say that was just sex parties that were consensual. You need to relax. And anybody taking drugs did it on their own free will. Well, they're kind of predicting that argument in this indictment. And they're saying, nope. He did this by abusing them. He subjected them to physical, emotional, verbal abuse to cause them to engage in the FOs. He maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. Again, most of that we've heard from either lawsuits or interviews with people who used to be bodyguards or whatever. During and separate from freak-offs, Diddy, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. Okay, so we may have been told this before, we may not have. I don't explicitly remember, but this is important news to me because during freak-offs, he would become violent. And I think Cassie did say that, but I do just want to reiterate it here if she did already say that. This was during the freak-offs. He would abuse them, hit, kick, throw, drag them, and at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. And I think this is also a reference to that Cassie hotel footage. Remember that came out on the CNN or whatever? That was allegedly during a freak off. Like she had left during a freak off and he ran down the hall to try to get her to come back. It says he also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak offs. So they couldn't resist participating in the freak offs, because if they would, that's when he would also threaten their careers and their livelihoods. So see, they're being threatened if they resist participating in the freak offs. Again, alleged. This is all alleged. I certainly wasn't there and innocent until proven guilty, but this is what's being said in the indictment. Victims believed they could not refuse Diddy's demand without risking their financial or job security, or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Oh, man. Diddy, okay, so this is where he's using it as a compromise, like, getting compromising information on people in order to control them. He also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during the FOs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of victims. We've heard this alleged, but I'm glad it's being put here in the indictment filing. Then it goes on to say members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs security personnel, and at times carried firearms. So they had the pew-pews, okay? On more than one occasion, Diddy himself carried or brandished pew-pew to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. Okay, we're about to find out something else they found during the raid. In or about March, I'm gonna write this down. What did they find in the raid? They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. What the hell? And then what else did they find during the raid? Oh, we already knew this. The firearms and ammunition. Oh my Lord. Oh, I don't know if we knew this. Oh my Lord. 3 ARs. And then defaced serial numbers, which I think that's a crime, girl. I don't know. I think it's a crime. I'm just writing this down because I'm going to make a video later, like everything they found in the raids. Okay, so this is new. This is new news. This is new information. I do know that they did seize firearms from him, but this is details we do not have. 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and as well as a drum magazine. Okay. Just put, oh no. No, that's not what I want. I want this square. Oh, it won't let me do it. This is aggravating. They didn't teach me this in school, y'all. I don't know. Didn't. What are you gonna do here? Okay. Okay. I just want to make these squares because then it'll let us know what was actually new up in here. Oh, good. It don't even go down here. Wonderful. Okay. Can I bring it on this page? Oh my God, this is stupid. Okay, whatever. I'll deal with that later. Members and associates of the enterprise enabled Combs' control over victims. Okay, so members and associates enabled Diddy to control these victims. How? So, I mean, I'm making that green because Robin Greenhill. How? Following his directions regarding financial payments to the victims. Okay, financial payments to the victims is screaming TriStar Sports and Entertainment. Advancing or suppressing victims' career opportunities and acquiring the controlled substances Diddy used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence toward the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, these members and associates of the Combs enterprise helped to conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Diddy in monitoring and preventing Diddy from leaving victims, monitoring and preventing Diddy's victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Diddy's residences. These occasions included instances which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted. Now that's Cassie. She told us that she would have to go in hiding and hide out to let the bruises and the physical, the evidence of the physical altercations dissipate before she could go back out in public. Members and associates of the enterprise also assisted Diddy in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee. Again, Cassie, we are told that man who was like the CEO or whatever of Bad Boy Records, he tracked her down, she said. When employees, witnesses to his abuse, or others threatened Diddy's authority or reputation, Diddy and other members of the other members and associates of the enterprise engaged in acts of violence, threats of financial and reputational harm, and verbal abuse. These acts of violence, including kidnapping and arson. Okay. So when anybody threatened his authority or reputation, he would retaliate, and some of the retaliation was kidnap. Okay, good. Okay, paragraph G goes on to say, when Combs, oh wait, sorry, I didn't finish that one. We're on F still. These acts of violence included kidnapping and arson. In addition, on multiple occasions, Diddy threw both objects and people, as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. When his authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity, okay, so now this is whenever he would hear that he might be, somebody might talk about him and use their freedom of speech to speak about him, which is our inalienable right. And if you don't like it, he can fucking leave. No, he didn't leave. No, he didn't do that. He did not move to communist Russia. He did not move to communist North Korea. No, he did not move somewhere communist. He did not move somewhere authoritarian where you don't get to have free speech. He decided to try and make free speech into some reason to lose your life. Okay, so it said, when his authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following the public allegations of Combs' crimes by Cassie, they pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal his crimes. Diddy caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. So this is reminding me of that case we just covered One of Diddy's alleged victims, I don't remember his name right now. He had like a hyphenated last name. He sued Diddy and he got $100 million judgment in his favor just last week or the week before last, for assault. Diddy assaulted him and Diddy did not bother to show up in court. Now he'll probably appeal it. But in that lawsuit, the victim said, the one who's now been awarded $100 million judgment, that guy said that Diddy tried to offer him like $2 million or something and, try to make him not pursue the charge. Now that is a settlement, and a settlement is not necessarily a bribe. Okay. But taken together with all of the other context, it could reach that level depending on how the state wants to argue it, or the government. Okay. So now we're going to get into the racketeering conspiracy. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment. So from 2008 to 2024, Diddy and others, known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs enterprise, described in paragraphs 6 through 12 of this indictment. So we already talked about all them. The enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the United States. That is, what does that mean? In other words, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity that is defined by statute. Multiple acts involving kidnapping. They keep saying kidnapping. Chargeable under the following provisions of the state law. So they give the California Penal Code here. Multiple acts involving arson. And didn't he like blow up Kid Cudi's car? Is that arson? That's the allegation. I don't know. I wasn't there. Chargeable under the following provisions of the state law. Multiple acts involving bribery. So we have arson, kidnap, and bribery. Okay. Multiple. And they're saying multiple acts of kidnapping or involving, multiple acts involving blowing stuff up or setting it on fire, including houses and cars. I think cars is arson. Multiple acts involving bribery. Multiple acts indictable under Title 18, which is witness tampering. Okay. So they're also witness tampering, witness intimidation, victim intimidation, informant intimidation, multiple acts of that. Multiple indictable acts under the slavery statutes. So he was keeping slaves. I'm not saying forced labor because it's slavery. Whenever you force someone to do work for you and they can't leave, what is that? And if they leave, you threaten to kill them. What is that? Difference between legal and not legal. This is illegal. It used to be legal over here. Crazy. And it still is legal, actually. It still is. They call it a conservatorship now. And it's not necessarily race-based, necessarily. Okay, multiple acts indictable under Title 18 relating to trafficking, which is another form of forced labor. Multiple acts indictable relating to the transportation and inducement to travel for purposes of prostitution and other illegal sexual activities. Now, something I notice is that they have not mentioned children, but they haven't said that it wasn't children, right? They said women and other individuals. And I thought that was like, maybe they were being a little too wokey. Like, what can you say, men and women, or people even? Can you say people? But I think they're leaving room open for there to be underage individuals, aka children. I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. The other things that they are charging with are multiple offenses. Multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics or controlled substances. Okay, here's some specific statutory science names. I don't know. Maybe I'm a butcher. I'm wrong. Okay, so here are the substances that they list here: cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, 4-methyl-deoxymethamphetamine. What is that? Adderall? Methyl? No, that would be amphetamine salt. Methyl-N-deoxymethamphetamine. What does that mean? I'm gonna look it up. Hold on. Oh, that's MDMA. Well, girl, tell us how educated you are about drugs without telling us. Okay. And then phenethylamine. What's this one? Oh, bromo. Oh, girl. Somebody with science in their background. Tell me what in the hell this means. My friend from high school, Daphne, she is actually a physicist and she does this. I mean, a chemist, sorry. What is this? Nexus, a synthetic psychedelic drug of the 2C family, mainly used as a recreational drug, first synthesized in 1974 by Alexander Shulgin, gained initial reputation for potential psychotherapeutic use. So it's a psychedelic, 4 to 12 hours use, 4-bromo, 2,5-dimethoxyphenethylamine. Is that poppers? I don't know, Raw. I did not know. No, it's not DMT. DMT is dimethyltryptamine. Okay, anyway, so whoever knows what that is, let me know. What other substances? Gamma hydroxybutyric acid. What's that? Honestly, if they had DMT at these parties, I'll probably respect them a little more. But that can be abused too. I'm not encouraging the use of it. Okay, so the gamma hydroxybutyric acid can produce hallucinations as well. So a lot of psychedelic-y type, can produce hallucinations, visuals, and it just makes me wonder, was there kind of something more sinister going on here? Girl, I do not know. Ketamine. Okay. It was part of the conspiracy that Diddy agreed that a conspirator would commit. Oh. This is interesting. It says it was part of the conspiracy that Diddy agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise. So this is ambiguous. I'm not exactly sure for 100% what they mean, but this looks like they're trying to tell me, as part of the conspiracy, Diddy would make sure that he compromised these people by forcing them or ensuring, right? It says here, or it doesn't say ensure. It just says agreed. By forcing them, this is how I'm reading. I don't know. You tell me. You're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. But it looks to me like they're trying to say that as part of this conspiracy, Diddy would make sure that these people were compromised and to compromise them so that they couldn't run and snitch. And this is very typical behavior of a racketeering case. I'm not saying Diddy did do this. Okay. Truly, I'm not. I wasn't there. I don't know. But that's what's being said. And a grand jury did indict him on this. And so it says that the conspirators would need to commit at least 2 acts of this racketeering activity in the conduct and the affairs of the enterprise. It's like it was part of the conspiracy that each person had to commit at least 2 of these acts. And again, just to remind y'all, what are the acts? Kidnap, arson, bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, aka slavery, and trafficking. Okay. So everybody had to do at least 2 of those if you wanted to be involved. That's interesting because it's reminding me of all the Ashton Kutcher types and everybody else, Jay-Z's, Beyonce's, and everybody else that's been to these P. Diddy parties. Were they just invited guests? Were they part of the racketeering enterprise? I want to have a list. I need a list. Okay. So then we have a section called Notice of Special Sentencing Factor. And I don't really know what this means, so let's read it. From at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, as part of his agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct and of the affairs of the enterprise, Diddy agreed to interstate informant conduct, recruiting, enticing, harboring, transporting, providing, obtaining, advertising, maintaining, patronizing, and soliciting by any means a person, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial act. I think this is just trying to get to a mental state. They're trying to say he knew that what he was doing was going to make people feel forced to engage in the FOs, and he still did it. And not only did he still do it, he did it for that reason on purpose. I think they're trying to say that was his purpose. He meant to do it. It wasn't an accident. He meant it. He knew it, right? And it's saying notice of special sentencing factor. So a special sentencing factor is how a judge determines what the mandatory minimum or maximum sentence is, or what to sentence him to when he gets convicted. there's certain, what's the word? It's escaping me right now. There's certain, it's called something. It's like an obvious word. We use it all the time, but it's like, factors that would make your sentence longer and then factors that would make your sentence shorter. Sometimes you might unalive somebody, which is a crime, but that person may have been trying to unalive you or something, right? You might have a history. It may, maybe you had a good reason, but you still did the crime. So they'll consider that not in saying, did you do the crime or not, but they'll consider it in whether or not to put you away forever or to put you as time served, for example. Like, for example, like people that unalive their abusive parents after being held in a basement for 30 years or whatever. It's like, well, I mean, she was never getting out of that basement. So she unalived her mom, and she definitely did that on purpose, knowingly, willingly. But you could, in the sentencing stage, maybe she would get time served or something. You know what I mean? So that's what a special sentencing factor is. And they're laying it out here. They're saying, Your Honor, just before we even make it one step further, in the indictment, I want to let you know, he knew. He knowingly did this for 10 years, 2009 to 2018 in New York and elsewhere. Part of his gang, he did all of this stuff knowing that these people were going to feel forced to do it. Okay, that was count 1. That was the racketeering activities. Now we're on to count 2, which is the S, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Now, it looks like there's only 2 counts, so let's see what they say on this. From at least in or about 2009 up to and including 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Diddy knowingly recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, provided, obtained, advertised, maintained, patronized, and solicited by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial S act. And Diddy attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit. Combs, Diddy recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained a victim number 1, and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim 1 to engage in commercial S acts, knowing and in reckless disregard for the fact that victim 1 was engaging in commercial S acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. This pretty much is another way of saying the same thing we just discussed, so I won't belabor the point, but it's like that, knowing that the people that were victims specifically because some of them were threatened with force and violence, and he knew that is why they were doing it. He would say, I'm gonna slap you in your head, or somebody's gonna come slap you in your head if you don't element OP. And so for, same thing all over again. Oh, it's 3 counts. Okay, at least 3 counts. Let's read further. The grand jury further charges. This is what the grand jury said, y'all. Remember, we are looking at a grand jury indictment. People came in, sat there for days, maybe weeks, maybe months, listening to allegations, to evidence, some admissible in court, some wouldn't even be admissible in court, but just to see. The grand jury found these charges could move forward and proceed. At least in or about 2009, up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York. Okay, again. Okay, so this one is the transportation to engage in institution, aided and abetted, willfully caused transportation of female victims, commercial S workers, interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they may engage in institution. Okay. Forfeiture allegations. Okay, so I think this is going to get into what that guy was saying about Diddy trying to liquidate all his assets. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't read this. I'm reading it and reacting, like I said. Okay. So it says forfeiture allegations. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 1 of this indictment, that's the racketeering charge. So I was wrong. My prediction was wrong. Shall forfeit to the United States any and all interests he acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18. United States, any and all interests in securities of claims against and property or contractual rights of any kind affording a source or influence over the enterprise named and described herein that operated, controlled, any and all property. So he has to forfeit over his property to the government because they're trying to say that he earned all that property by breaking the law. So that's illegal. and he is now costing the United States taxpayers a lot of money for having to bring this indictment. So he needs to pay us back. And I agree. Give it back. Lou Taylor, turn over the account numbers, baby, because it's you coming. You next. You and Jay-Z next. The enterprise named and described herein, which the defendant established, operated. Okay. So then we're on to 19. As a result of committing the offense alleged in count 2, which is the SUL allegations, he also has to forfeit all his money intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of these offenses, any and all property traceable to such property. As a result of count 3, the same thing. Substitute assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property, so they're coming to seize his stuff. It's like in a bankruptcy, they coming to seize. As a result of any action or omission, he cannot be located, transferred, sold, substantially diminished. Okay, so they're gonna, okay, so that, yeah, that's just, okay. So the jury 4 persons signed it, and Damian Williams has signed it as the United States attorney. Now, what I want to do, that is it. That is it. That is, let me see my star. Thank you, beautiful Messy Ball. You're actually a Diddy presser at 11:30. Not a drill this time. I tagged you again. I actually read the whole tweet this time. Thanks, beautiful Messy Ball. We were so excited last night. It was like, oh, we tweeted about it. And we ran over there, and girl, was a tweet from that morning. It had nothing to do with Diddy. I'm being told now, beautiful Messy Ball tells me there is a press conference at 11:30. That is in about 20 minutes. So I'll just stay on live and we'll watch it together. Alex Dickens, thank you for the $9.90, and thank you, beautiful Messy Ball, for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Alex Dickens, for the $9.99. Real VIP. Justice to all the victims. Indeed. I hope this helps them heal. Love you, mean it. Love you, mean it. Thank you. Thank you, Fan Fiction, for the $1.99 super chat. And thank you again for the $4.99 super chat. I love your accent when you say Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. Your detective skills are Batman level. Yes. Okay, I want to go to that's what I'm saying. He better start singing. I mean, we know he's not known for his vocals, but he still better start singing. So the CDC on speed dial, who treats home girl? I don't know. I think they probably have him tested and stuff. Are you going to stay live for the presser? Yeah. Yeah, I am. They had to leave some wiggle room for underage Bieber and underage Usher, Audrey said. That's true, because they not women, to my knowledge. And yeah, they weren't adults whenever they met Diddy. But again, y'all, all that Usher stuff, that happened in the 90s. None of this is including Usher, because, I mean, well, maybe he was still, perhaps, I don't know, maybe he did something to Usher after 2008. But when the Flavor Camp with Usher happened, it was in the 90s. So this criminal indictment, it only is going back to 2008. And I wonder if that's because that's around the time that Cassie started to date Diddy. And then they broke up in like 2018. And then it's like from 2008 to 2018. I wonder if Cassie is kind of like their star witness, and they really can only for sure go on what she said. I don't know. I'm just speculating. So what I want to do, I want to go to the Pacer website, and I want to see if anything else has been filed in this case, because we were told just this morning, look, there was live court footage outside the courthouse from when Diddy, let me go back to an hour ago. How long have I been on here? Let me show y'all what I'm looking at. The AP has this live recording going on of outside the courthouse. So, I mean, Diddy was there. I want it to show up. See what I mean? Let's go to, so has anything happened here? Looks like no. So is Diddy in there now? Because look, it says live outside New York court as Sean Diddy Combs is indicted on trafficking and racketeering charges. Started streaming 119 minutes ago. Y'all saw me just kind of skim through. I don't know if anybody's come out. Diddy might be in that courthouse right now, is what I'm trying to say. So let me go to the Pacer. And I'm going to try and figure out if anything else has been filed in this case. So just give me one moment to pull that up. Oh. And then we are going to go to the press conference, live press conference. Let me go look that up too while I'm at it. Messy Beautiful Ball, just so I can have that up when it starts. We'll, we won't miss it. Okay. Let's see. Did it expect right? Where did you tag me? Oh, look. Okay, look. Here we go. Let me show y'all this. Oops, not that. Elizabeth Miller. Okay. Diddy's sons. So this is from 1031. Is about an hour ago or 45 minutes ago. Diddy's sons, Justin, Christian, and Quincy. Quincy showed up too, seemingly in support of their father. No sighting of Diddy's daughters. They didn't say a word before walking into the courthouse. Okay, thank you, Elizabeth Miller, for putting that up. The Law Crime Network. That's what they wear into court. All that money, and that's what they wearing into the courthouse. And it shows you how much they respect the system and the process and all of that. I mean, very little. Like, for God's sake, this is what you wearing, especially whoever this is. Please, you're wearing velour cargos into the federal court. It's given Lima and not in a good way, girl. Okay, let me see where Beautiful Messy Ball tagged me. Where's Jonathan Oddie? Where is Jonathan Oddie? I never did have the chance to cover that. I'm looking for the tweet that's saying, is it the DOJ going to do it? Who's going to do it? My internet's also lagging. DOJ. Let's try that. Transgender domestic terrorism. What? What are they tweeting about? What? Okay. Messy Ball, send me the link on here. Yeah, this is a live. Yeah, this is a live. I DM you, my tweets aren't loading. It was tweeted by the SDNY. Okay. We're on the hunt. SD. They're going to be, if you're just joining, the Southern District of New York is going to be doing a press conference in about 12 minutes. So I am trying to find it. U.S. Attorney SDNY. I should just follow them. Okay, follow. A press conference will be held. Yes. Okay, let me show y'all. Woo! Thank you, Beautiful Messy Ball. Thanks, Monica. Thank you, Universal Fairy, for the $20 super sticker. They not see that you can't seize something from me that belongs to me. And that's one thing y'all gotta remember. Like, we can fight for our rights, but some of this stuff is us giving in to them too. Nobody is seizing shit from me. No, they are not. You cannot take things from me that belong to me. Think about that on a deeper level. No, I ain't talking about I'm talking about you can take a from me. I know how to get another one. You could take food from me. I know how to get more. You could take money from me. I know how to get more. You could take my channels from me. I know how to get more. As long as you have it within you and your community and your family that you can get what you need, I ain't worrying about these people. Okay. So look, a press conference, look, it says 56 minutes ago, will be held today at 11:30 a.m. to announce the unsealing of an indictment charging Sean Diddy Combs with racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, transportation, illegal tuition. Okay. Here's the live webcast. Okay, so let's go to the link. This is fun. I haven't done one of these live things like this in a while. Let me subscribe to them too. Who's this Sikh man? Look at that. See a sing, salute a sing. I don't know if y'all know this. My fiance was born into the religion called Sikhism, and they practice religion. They wear this turban. They don't have to. It's not required. But if you see somebody wearing that turban, usually that's the religion they're going to be for him. And I don't know. Now when I see like somebody in a high up position with a turban, I'm like, who's that? But honestly, if you working at the White House, sus, hashtag sus. Okay. Oh, this isn't the White House. I guess this is the U.S. Attorney's Office. So he's probably not that sus. Okay. So this is going to happen today. It's going to happen. Yeah, here, look, upcoming. USA Williams, United States Attorney Williams. So it's going to be Damian Williams. We'll finally get to see that person. Announcing the federal indictment of Sean Combs. Well, y'all, I got to announce in the indictment before the U.S. Attorney's Office could do it. So drop a like, drop a heart. Oh my goodness, who gave 5? Miss Faye gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. And Jenna, thank you for the 549 super sticker as well. Okay, so we have that up. We have that up. When they start playing, it's going to start playing. I got the volume up to the loudest. Now, let me go back to Pacer. I'm trying to find this Pacer case. Where would you like to go? Case locator. Okay, find cases. Let me show y'all how I do this. "10 minutes away from the press conference that's going to happen." Okay, the press conference is going to happen on Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs in 9 minutes. Can somebody please type 9-minute countdown, DOJ, something, something, right? Make a little announcement down there. I'm gonna pin it. So people know what's going on when they come in here. That's not true. They can carry, it's not. So part of the like if you want to be like a devout practitioner of the religion, you get to carry, you have to carry around a small, it's like a dagger. It kind of looks a little bit like a karambit, but it's not. And it's part of the religion to defend yourself for righteousness. Anyway, so the it used to be a sword, and then it's kind of over the decades, millennia, whatever, gotten smaller and smaller. Okay. But yeah, some states have outlawed it. Like you can't carry them anymore, but it is like a religious item. People keep saying Nick DeLorean keeps talking about. I've never heard of that person. I do not know who that is, and I do not go out of my way to look it up. But whoever that is, I mean, thank you. You could make a video about anything in the world, and you're making it about me, and I don't even know who you are. Don't even know if I saw you. I don't know you from Adam, but amen, Jesus. That's what happens when you God's favorite. Keep on making the videos because look, the people are coming over here like, oh, wait, I like you. So keep doing it. More, more, more. Please, I'm begging you, make more videos about me. Okay. And no, I'm never looking him up because I like being able to say I don't know what he looks like. All right. Find parties. I'm going to look for this case. Okay. Because I looked for the case this morning. It was not unsealed. Case search. Let me show y'all how I do it. I don't know. I don't know who that is. Never heard of him in my life. It's so funny. People are dedicating so much of their life. Countdown is on. 9-minute countdown to DOJ. Thank you, Lauren. Okay. Let me show y'all. It's not showing up here. There you go. All right. So we have the case number somewhere. And pull that up. This is case number 24 CRIM 542. 24 CRIM. I don't know if it's hyphens. 542. And then they charge you every time you do it. Okay, so let's just go by name. Party search. Combs, Sean. So these are all, I wish they would put them in order. Let's go court type. I'm trying to find if anything else beside the indictment has been filed, like maybe some transcripts or whatever. And I'm doing all this just in the 5 minutes while we wait to see what the DOJ is going to, the Attorney General is going to say. Please tell us how to search cases on paper. I'm showing y'all right now. This is how you do it. Okay, so let's see. These are appeals courts. I sorted it by court type. It's hard. They don't do it by like date. That would be the most useful, and they don't sort it by date. Here's one in the appeals court that's still open. New York Southern. What? Bankruptcy cases in the Southern District of New York? No, that's for GBG USA. Let's see. I'm looking for this case. Because you see how they have these case numbers? If you don't put it in exactly right, it won't show up, and it's aggravating. Jones versus Combs, we read. The ones that are purple, we've read those. McKinney versus Combs, civil. Let's see. Let's go court type, criminal. Civil. All right, hold on. Court. Maybe we'll do court. New York Southern District. A, B, C, D, E, F, L, M, N. Okay, now we're in New York. Southern bankruptcy. No. Bad boy books. Okay. No, so I don't see it being up on here. Is there another pacer? Thank you, Mom. Covering topics of this nature in detail is mentally exhausting. Yes, it is, Mom. Bringing awareness to the evils in this world. That's really my mom. Thanks, Mom, for the super chat. Oh, Alyssa, thank you for the super chat, for the search fee. Yeah, I don't. Lady J82N said Diddy threatened to blow the car up with him in it, and then the next thing you know, the car was blown up. I'm saying. Amy said, Kim Porter, Biggie, and Pac are up in heaven toasting each other with floats. There's a lot of victims. And it just keeps coming out like, y'all just saw me scroll through all those Sean Combs. Now, to be very clear, probably most of those Sean Combs is different Sean Combs. But there's like P. Diddy lawsuits that have been being filed for years, decades probably. Not only against P. Diddy, but against P. Diddy and other people at the same time, like P. Diddy and Jay-Z. P. Diddy and... Oh. It's playing.
Does anybody need me to keep going?
Huh? Hold on, it's playing.
Give me a thumbs up if you're good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You just came in from the left. Are you okay?
Let's see if I can.
Thank you.
Okay. Whew. Let's see. And turn it all the way up. Okay, the man just came out and talked. He interrupted me. 629 watching now. Okay, so I'll leave that up. Anyway, so yeah, I saw. So a lot of lawsuits have been filed against Diddy for years, and not only Diddy, but also Beyonce, Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, and one lawsuit in particular I talked about, and it was deleted from YouTube for me even showing the lawsuit on the screen. And I am happy to follow the terms of service, which I routinely do on purpose. Whenever I have any choice in the matter, I'm following the terms of service. So no problem. I re-uploaded it and it's still up today. I can reshare it. But in that lawsuit, four parties were sued. It was Diddy, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and 2 Chainz. And they were making all kind of allegations like exactly like this, like ST, intellectual property, theft, other stuff. And the judge just dismissed it without even hearing anything from Diddy or hearing anything from anybody else. Like just dismissed the case and didn't require Diddy, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, or 2 Chainz to say anything. And that happened a lot of times, but not specifically against those 4 people, but a lot of times between famous people. And it was like, again, the Jenners, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner were being accused of torturing people, assault, kidnap. And now it's like, well, it's all in a federal indictment now. So what about all those people who were trying to get justice and the courts wouldn't even hear them out. I'm concerned. Waiting for 50 to meme this or do a Lifetime original movie. Oh yeah, 50 Cent. I'm surprised he hasn't. Let me look at his Instagram, Philip. Okay, so we're still a little early for the press conference, but he started talking and it was like, okay, let me put it on the screen so it's ready. Let's all pray they pull in that evil Lucifer Taylor on this too. Thanks, BJ, for all you do. Thank you, blah, 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 black sheep for the $9.99 super chat as well. Oh my God. Well, Diddy would need to have talent to make an album behind bars. Who's going to have to start his enterprise in there if he wants talent? Yeah, exactly. How do they decide?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start the Sean Combs press conference in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
If you have any questions about presentment, I'll come back out and we'll go over timing and give you a few updates. Thanks.
Presentment. What was I looking up on my phone? Oh, yeah. 50 Cent Instagram. 50 Cent Instagram. Is it on his stories 20 hours ago? He ain't awake. Is 50 Cent sleeping? No, he hasn't said anything yet. Who's he with? Like Idris Elba? What's his last name? Okay. What else was I looking for on here? Will he be able to post bail with these charges? No clue. No clue. I have my hopes up that they're all going down. Y'all are so funny, please. But it's true, I do. Thank you. Seriously, what? Why y'all click the button right now? Click the button right now. Okay, so I'm like kind of nervous to start talking about anything because then I get distracted. I don't finish it. Here, let me pull it up. At least y'all can see what I'm seeing. There y'all go. That's what I'm seeing. I tweeted Audie's court info if you want to look into it. Yeah, let me write that down too, because I do want to look into it. Thank you. The Jonathan Audie stuff, a guy like who made a lot of these allegations against Diddy, I think a couple years ago. Audie. But he has like court cases for other things too. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York.
Okay. Hey, Damian.
Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB. distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel.
That's Cassie.
Was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own.
Yes.
As mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy.
Who did it?
He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got
The lighting. That tells me it was for recording.
They arranged victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers.
Robin Greenhill, perhaps?
The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet.
See, that's new. We didn't know it was a stack of cash. We just knew it was 50,000.
And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether.
Doo-doo.
Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches.
Tell me. Put a timestamp. Put a timestamp right here.
Here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced.
That's all I can go in.
Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First,
Okay.
this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking.
This camera is making me a little bit car sick. Y'all need to get your Zoom right.
No matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. We are not done. This investigation is ongoing.
Get Lou Taylor.
Anyone with information about this
Lou
case,
Taylor.
do it quickly.
Lou Taylor.
Information can call.
I'm calling.
877-4-HSI-TIP.
I'm calling and tell them.
I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used.
I'm calling and tell them. After I get off this live, I'm calling and telling this man or his office what Lou Taylor tried to do to me to keep me from talking about her financial conflicts of interest, because that's Diddy's business manager.
Use their voices and help bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SDNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SDNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smizer, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleeper and Jacqueline Kelly, are members of the Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Eric Katursky, ABC.
Damian, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene?
Why did it take so long?
Victimized by Sean Combs.
And how many women were victimized? And how many were involved?
Our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so
Better be them ones that try to already sue and y'all didn't do nothing about.
long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice is done.
Yeah. Okay. No. Boo.
Julie,
Hiss.
NBC.
Thank you for doing this. You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Get her.
Janet Fisher, Newsday. What's the difference between the sex trafficking and promoting travel for the purpose of prosecution?
That's a good question.
Well, there are different crimes with different elements. So,
Okay.
I think we should get into the nitty gritty of the legal discussion
Okay.
now. But the sex trafficking, we believe they're all serious offenses, but the sex trafficking conduct carries some significant penalties, and we are gratified that we were able to bring that charge.
One more coercive than the other.
I'm not going to be able to get into that, but you can look it up.
Smart.
And yes, sex trafficking, especially when it involves coercion or force, is a very serious crime, and it carries significant penalties.
Good afternoon, Darla Miles, ABC 7 New York. Thank you for this press conference and for the details. 2 questions. In context of this indictment and the information that was presented to the grand jury, are you able to clarify the number of victims? It's mentioned plural in the indictment, but can you specify the number of victims just for this particular indictment? And secondly, can you provide details about the alleged arson?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have in the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points. But we don't have anything more beyond that. Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation? And additionally, could he face any more charges?
Okay, those are good questions.
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime.
TriStar, they better get them.
Yeah, Papa.
Hi, good morning from 1010 Wins. Any indication that some women or victims here were imprisoned in his residences, and did he have locations where he kept them, and they were not allowed to leave?
I'm wondering that.
Also, he's indicted here, although there were searches and raids in LA, Miami. Why in New York?
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult
They can.
sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from. It's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that. As your question about whether he imprisoned anyone, all I can say is that, I mentioned this March 2016 incident where something was caught on video where a victim was attempting to flee, and there was violence that was associated with it. That was at a hotel.
Matthew Lee, Inner City Press.
So we knew that.
Does your
The Cassie, he described the Cassie incident.
office intend to seek remand, or are you reaching a bail package? And if you're willing, how would you contrast this with the R. Kelly case in EDNY in terms of the elements? Thanks.
So we will be seeking detention. We have filed a letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There is a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
John Anise, New York Daily News.
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residents? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? So I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So, for instance,
We're going to have to look for the detention letter after this ends.
some of the AR-15s, 2 of the 3 defaced AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami.
I think we knew that.
Broken down into parts, along with magazines with ammunition loaded in them. So some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Ben Kochman, Post.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Your office was the office that had been prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein before he died in custody. I have not read your detention memo yet. It's the first thing I'm going to do after this ends. But does the memo address, or is your office concerned with Combs's safety in custody, given
What happened to Epstein?
Epstein.
Oh,
So we are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. It's part of our obligations to keep people safe as well. It's part of the criminal justice system. So,
and yet.
but I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial. And of course, the decision whether to detain the defendant will be up to a judge. Our position is that pretrial detention is warranted under the law and based on the facts of this case. And I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity and it no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational details as to how he was taken into custody and when. He is in custody right now. He will be appearing in court later today.
Was there any discussion of him surrendering, given they claim he's cooperating?
I'm not going to be able to get into law enforcement tactics or operations.
He's asking why wasn't Diddy, okay, we see these gun charge, we see all this stuff with the serial numbers, this, that, and the other. Well, how come he wasn't charged outright with that stuff? Why are we doing this criminal conspiracy thing?
Well, I can't get into the charging decision. It is very meaningful to us that weapons were possessed, as we allege in the indictment. Part of the reason why this conduct was so pervasive and harmful was because victims and others didn't necessarily feel comfortable denying him his wishes, as we allege, because of the presence of firearms. I should leave it there.
Nice. Last question, Jacob Shamison.
Jacob Shamsian, Business Insider. Thank you. Given that he's the sole defendant in this case and that you allege he's part of a conspiracy that involves members of his companies, do you anticipate a superseding indictment that will bring allegations against other members of his companies or other co-conspirators
A superseding indictment. Oh, that's what I've been wondering. Who else?
as well?
I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible. Our investigation is very active and ongoing. And I think a lot of you who cover this office know that when we say such things, that developments are certainly foreseeable, but I cannot predict them sitting here today. All right, thank you.
TriStar. Get her. Okay, so we're over. We're done with that. Okay. So they do have a pretrial, a pretrial detention letter. Remember he kept saying the detention letter, or the detention memo. I got it. So let me pull that one up. Hold on. We're going to read it. What he kept saying, it's like all laid out in this letter. I found the letter while we were watching that. And Rabbit from Down the Rabbit Hole News is going to be joining us. If she joins before I'm done with the letter, we can just read the letter together. I don't know if she actually read this letter. It's dated as of today. Let me see. I'm going to go send her the I'm going to go send her the link to come into the backstage or whatever. Monica said she sent it to her. Here, Monica, did you send her this link? I just texted you. Can you? Shout out to Monica. Everybody say shout out to Monica. Best mod in the YouTube game. Knows how to act, unlike literally the predominant majority of them. Okay. Oh my God. Rabbit's here. Okay, so Rabbit's here. Shout out to Rabbit. Shout out to anyone who just came from Rabbit's Live. We just watched the press conference. What I'm trying to do now is read the letter. You know how in the press conference just now, Rabbit, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I sent Monica the link just now. She's going to send it to you so you can come backstage. But what we're doing right now, I'm about to read this letter. Oh my God, it's 16 pages long. So if you want to come on here and read this letter, but then after the letter, I want you to also tell me about the Jonathan Oddie stuff because people keep bringing him up and I don't really know what's going on. So if you want to come on here at any time, we'll read this letter and we'll can react to this letter because it was like, it's long. What in the hell? Oh my God, we got evidence in here. Oh my word, this thing is long. We might need a skim. Okay, and then they got Exhibit A. It's a video exhibit. Okay, oh my God, look at this thing. So there's details in here they're saying. Now what? Oh, y'all aren't even looking at it here. There you go. Now, what this is a, what do they call it? The pre-sentence detention letter. So what they're saying is Diddy needs to be put in jail right now. Oh my God. Okay. Rabbit's here. Hey.
Hi.
Oh no. Let me remove this. Sorry. Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I am good. We were reacting to the press conference. That was
Oh my God,
interesting.
me too. Someone commented earlier, like, I think every YouTuber is going to be live today and
Yes.
like right now. And I was like, oh my God, true. And then everybody kept asking about Jonathan Oddie and all of that. If Ahmad could drop Rabbit's channel link, I'll pin that up too as well. Rabbit has a great channel over there. I've been following her for a while. I like to consider myself a Rabbit OG. Now you're like famous YouTuber status. But
not really. By the way, I did report on your win. Shout out to you, girl. Shout out
oh
to
yes,
you.
thank you. I have a lot of
think
updates
so.
coming on that.
We're all dying to hear it. Well, we're just dying. I just want to know. You know, the
Rabbit
people
does
want to know.
cover Rabbit does cover my court case, and she does an excellent job. And thank God, because there's some fake news out there all the time going around. But you know, as you have probably learned by this point, that's what happens when you're on to something. You know what I mean? When you're on to somebody, when you're on there, when you might be able to get a little too close to hovering over the target, then it's like all of a sudden people has an issue with what you're saying. So, okay, so you watched the press conference just now.
I did.
What's your thoughts on that?
It's just they just basically repeated whatever the indictment was. I didn't feel like they really answered any questions other than that it's an ongoing investigation at this point. And I have questions about who else is going to be looked into as far as this goes.
That's one of my main questions too.
I have questions about yeah, like it just, to me, it seems like Diddy's enterprise is so many people. And so I'm curious about that too. What does that look like? What does that mean?
It's similar. Sorry, I'm just trying to pin this comment of your channel in the chat, but it's similar to me of that reaction that you just had, because while I was reading through it, it was like, all right, well, we already knew this. But good, you know, thank God they finally putting it, what they said it started in 2008. That was another issue I took. Little baby Usher went to the freak off camp in the flavor camp in 1994, 1993, 1995, something like that. You know, the the Tupac and the Biggie stuff happened in the 90s. Why is this starting in 2008 is one of the questions I also had, because Diddy was already household famous by that point. So why is it starting in 2008 is one question I had. And one of my theories was maybe that's because that's whenever they have Cassie, right? Cassie dated him from like 2007 to like 2018 or whatever. So maybe it's like they have this star witness in Cassie, and like that's for sure they can say because she for sure was around. Otherwise, it would be maybe hearsay. Maybe they're trying to protect people. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like, they have 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Did you see that?
I heard, that I don't understand. So what I was so confused, I'm trying to understand is there's a difference between people just being freaky, you know, and that type of situation, no judgment whatsoever, however you get down. But there's the way this is being made out to be is that this is nothing but a sex trafficking organization and then you have all these other like labels and record labels and Sean John and different things happening in the background. So that in my mind, I'm like, well, then who else is playing a part? Because Diddy is not the only person here. There's no way, especially if he's been doing this, in my opinion, probably a lot longer than Cassie, for what we know. I want to go, because I know we've talked about, you know, with Tupac and that situation, Keefe D, what connections are there? What don't we know? So I have a lot of questions.
And I have, speaking of that point, also questions about what else this enterprise was
Mhm.
for. Because, like you just said, they are phrasing it and framing it like it is nothing more than Diddy trying to get his you know what wet. Like,
Right.
that's it. All these thousands of people for years upon years upon years, threatening people with their life, using pew pew, a Second Amendment device. All of this going on, all because Diddy trying to be freaky. And I said, well, why can't just go down to the Skid Row? Well, I mean, like, there's places where it
There's
is
places.
legal.
Well,
So,
and one
but,
thing
like, because of that, no, there's obviously much larger things going on, and this might
Mhm.
just be the trafficking portion of the operation. But what about the everything else? What about Clive Davis?
What about him? Okay, and the other thing too, I was thinking, I'm like, these people that are, and this is allegedly in my opinion, I'm going to say this. The
Sure.
people that have channels now that have been ex bodyguards, okay, ex whatevers of this machine that's been happening. I get the
Mhm.
sense that some of these people might have taken deals. Please, something to that effect, because
I feel that way too. I
I
don't have
was thinking, I
evidence
was
for
like,
that, but
I don't know what's going, like shout out to Gene Deal, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, I wonder, you're spilling a lot of stuff here. Did you
well,
have
girl,
to
I mean, I
take
wonder,
a
did
deal?
Cassie take a deal? She admitted in her lawsuit that she would be coerced, but she would call and arrange or text and arrange the male workers for
Mhm.
the FOs. And so it's like, how is that not contributing? Now,
Mhm.
of course, you always have the defense of duress. And I was forced. I was scared for my life. And I think she has very strong evidence that she was. So I'm not in any way trying to say, oh, yeah, Cassie, willingly participated. I'm not trying to say that. But from the way that this is written, nobody willingly participated. So except Diddy. And so it's like, can we name some names? Can we get some names named? And I mean, it does appear that there are like some details in this letter. You remember in the thing we just watched, the guy kept talking about this letter, this detention letter.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you, Bald
haven't
News.
read that.
So I got it pulled up here. Let me see if I
Ooh.
can make it. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's kind of long. I bet if I had to guess, it's gonna say the same stuff as what we already know. But like, I mean, there might be something in here, and I thought we could just kind of skim through it at least. So it was taken into so it's dated as of this morning. Who signed it?
Is it
The
just
exhibit
breaking
A is a
down?
video. Sorry, go ahead.
Is it just breaking down what the indictment thing says? Because it sounds like, oh Lord, unless there's more. Is there going to be more? Is there different information in this letter than there is on the
That's
indictment?
what I'm
That's the
trying to
question.
figure out. I'm kind of skimming right now, and it does say here that he is trying to, it looks he's trying to argue that Diddy should not be released on his own recognizance until the trial. You know how like whenever you're awaiting trial, you might be out and free, like Elizabeth Holmes or whatever it was.
Mhm.
Sometimes like Keefe D's case, even before your trial starts, you are detained in jail. And then that's
Mhm.
whenever like bail and bond and stuff comes. But they're kind of, I think, anticipating that Diddy will be able to afford it. So they're saying, no bail, no bond. Like they could keep him in here. So it says the government submits this letter in anticipation of Diddy's appearance before the court later today in support of the government's request for his detention pending trial. And then they say, as set forth below, there is no condition or combination of conditions that will reasonably assure the appearance of Diddy as required and the safety of others in the community, not to mention the integrity of the proceedings. So, I mean, they did argue, Rabbit, in here that he's going to be, that he has witness tampered and that this enterprise has witness tampered. In the indictment, they wrote that.
I
They
believe
said
it.
that he was intimidating witnesses, intimidating victims. And I think that's why they include this language right here, right? Like, no condition or combination of conditions that will reasonably assure the appearance of the defendant as required and or reasonably ensure the safety of others. And look, not to mention the integrity of the proceedings. I think they're trying to say he's going to tamper. He's going to flee. He's going to tamper. And there's no other way than to
He's going to
keep him
Russell Simmons the situation. He's going to Russell.
It says it right here. He is a serious risk of flight.
Oh
He
God.
possesses a significant risk of obstructing justice. During the course of the charged conduct, he has attempted to bribe security staff and threatened and interfered with witnesses to his criminal conduct. Yeah, so this looks like it's just yeah, this is a redoing. Same thing. It's the same stuff.
It really is. It's just maybe a little shorter. I don't think we're going to learn anything else other than just,
Nope.
he's a flight risk. And I believe it. I do believe that he's a flight risk. And not only that, but, he should be on some level of watch. You know what I mean? So we don't have a
Right.
situation where suddenly we don't have a Diddy at this point. We don't have somebody to charge, if that makes sense.
So this right here is interesting because they are saying that this right here is not redacted serial number. This is actually like scratching on the, apparatus to.
Is that not allowed? I guess I don't know. I've never.
No,
Are you
that
not
is a
allowed
very
to?
serious crime. Because
Really?
they like to be able to track, like say, the states especially that like track like who owns them and stuff.
Yeah.
You have them registered to you like a VIN number on a car.
So this makes me wonder with these weapons, it was 3 of them, right? It makes me wonder what have they been used in other crimes?
Some of the weapons, including I can't remember if it was Tupac or Biggie, but one of them weapons is missing. The police had it and now they don't.
Yeah.
So let me find out they recovered that. He's not that stupid, right? I mean, I say that so much about people, but so one thing we learned today is that the serial number had been bored through there, defaced. Not gonna linger on that. Okay, 6 they found. So there's like some small details in here. But no, this is like the same thing over and over. Okay. So we can get more. Oh, sorry. We can get more into that later. But really the reason I wanted to call you on here, people keep bringing up Jonathan Oddie. I definitely remember seeing the interrogation or whatever it was, whatever he was doing in the interrogation, he was saying I was trafficked or whatever. And then it was like that, just like a vague memory. So I was like, I know you covered it. So could you give like me and everyone here that doesn't know a brief, what is Jonathan Oddie? And people are saying he's missing.
That's what people are saying. Let me tell you, I covered it very briefly, and I don't think it was anything update wise. So there was like a rumor out there that he was missing, and then he was found, and then he was missing. So we really don't know, other than he did what he did at the Trump Hotel, and then he said what he said in that interrogation. Was it where he said that he was part of these freak offs, and this was before Cassie and all this stuff hit the fan. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he was part of something, and
they're asking him to be a witness or something. Maybe
I don't know how though.
You help with like a federal investigation, and you have pending trial charges yourself.
Yeah,
you can sometimes, as you probably are familiar, or you probably heard of this before, you could get a reduced sentence. You could get some type of leniency, especially if you help to bring someone to justice that was hurting like a lot of people. But again, what did Jonathan Oddie do at the Trump Hotel? It was something with a Second Amendment type of device, or
yeah, he went in there, and I think he even had the flag, and he was basically
he was trying to hurt Trump, or he was trying to hurt Trump.
He was trying to hurt Trump. My understanding was that that's why he was there. Now it's been a minute.
Oh, interesting, considering the 2 recent assassination attempts on that man. I'm not a Trump supporter, for the record. I won't be voting in this election cycle. I think they're both clowns. But I support everybody's decision. I think it's a great thing we have in our democracy. But all that politics aside, we're talking about the same man who now is getting assassination attempts on, like, by these random people we can't find no information on. It's like, wait, hold on. Where are they picking these people up from? Is Jonathan Oddie maybe telling more of the truth than people gave him credit for at first?
I could believe 2 things are correct. I can believe that he's also he broke the law, but deranged. He could be deranged and also be telling the truth. A deranged person can say the truth. Now it just depends how we go there, what we do to get there. The other thing too that really got to me is, the Cardello Smith inmate, right? The one that I think was the 100 million towards Diddy. That was the other one too before. So there was Cardello Smith, the inmate from Michigan, and then there was another inmate in Colorado who also filed a lawsuit on Diddy that didn't get a lot of light as well, who said he was part of the cartel. And the judge wrote an opinion and the judge basically said, like, listen, I'm not going to grant you a lawsuit. The way you're getting this money is by bad means, right? Like, I'm not going to grant you this lawsuit to go and sue Diddy and whatnot. But all of these sketchy characters, they could be sketch, they could be deranged, but the truth, in my opinion, when it comes to Diddy, is somewhere in between there, if that makes sense. That's how I see it.
Same.
That's how I see it.
And there's a lot of lawsuits. I was talking about this earlier too. There's a lot of lawsuits against famous people that get deleted, that get dismissed like that.
Yes.
It's like, I was trafficked by this person. I was used as a slave by this person. They stole all of my intellectual property. They had me working and then used everything. And it's people that are in jail. It's people that are homeless or were homeless at the time. And these lawsuits just get dismissed without anybody ever having to answer anything. And then I think about somebody like me that had 4, 5 false, perjurious, illegal lawsuits filed against me, and I had to answer for it, even though it was a free speech activity. Someone like Diddy or Beyonce or Jay-Z gets accused of ST and they don't even have to show up in court. That feels wrong to me.
No, it does. And I really appreciate that you have covered those lawsuits that have been dismissed, because some of us, I didn't know. I remember finding one that listed a bunch of, these elite people and stuff like that and talking about it. But that's the kind of information that gets suppressed. Oh, it's been dismissed, but we're not going to read the narrative. Like, it feels,
and then when there's 2
weird.
of them or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 12 lawsuits spanning years and years about the same people saying the same stuff, it's like, all right, well, if they had gone to court and said it like I've had to do to defend my own self, okay, where's the evidence for this? Where's the evidence for that? Definitely never did this. Here's some evidence to prove them wrong. But that never happened. These lawsuits were just dismissed because the judges didn't want to believe it was true, or perhaps way more sinister, perhaps they were in on it. Perhaps they're some of these racketeers. I don't think so. I think they probably just didn't believe it, if I had to guess.
Yeah. The more and the more you look into it, the more you realize just, people get overlooked, right? Money talks. Money can move mountains to a certain degree,
It's so true. And then do you have any theories about how, like, maybe this could be tied in somehow with the investigation going on in the same jurisdiction into Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, who gave Diddy the key to the city?
So when he was giving the presser, I was thinking, because this is the same guy that gave the, key. This is the same guy that when they did the marijuana bus or whatever, they had the bags out there. And what does he do? He grabs one and he smells it and he puts it down. I said, Lord have mercy, you got some skeletons in your closet. Yes, it would not surprise. I don't know. And it's not just him. There's the other guy too, that's also in the police force that's being investigated. They're all being looked into.
The chief of Patrick Psycho Ryder in Nassau County.
Yes, they're
and all my worlds are colliding because Sean Paul Reyes, who Long Island Audit.
Yes.
He's, one of my friends too here on YouTube, and he has had run-ins with the NYPD many times. Actually, right now, as we sit here speaking right now, this day in history, right now, nobody, because this is pending appeal in New York, is allowed to film in a police precinct in New York, in the New York PD, NYPD, except Sean Paul Reyes. And every time he's in there doing it, he has to show his ID. But it's unconstitutional law. It's going to get overturned. But it is a corrupt cartel. And Patrick Psycho Ryder, oh my God, you got to watch Sean Reyes's research into Patrick Ryder. He found that Patrick Ryder, in his job as the head of the police over there at NYPD, commissioner, I think is what he is. He is in charge of the asset forfeiture department. So how whenever somebody is driving a stolen whatever from the chop shop, the government takes it from them and goes into evidence lot. Right. And then that person goes to jail or whatever. Well, if it's nobody's claiming that car or nobody's claiming that property, what happens to it? It sits there. And then there's these state auctions where they sell them, or whatever. I mean, I don't know what else they do with them, but one thing they do is they'll commission some of those cars if they can for their own force, or they'll sell them in order to fund the whatever those allocated funds are supposed to go to. But Patrick Psycho Ryder, Sean has this chart, and it's like a little like, you know, regular chart. And then when Patrick Psycho Ryder takes over as commissioner, it skyrockets of all of the funds that that asset forfeiture fund has. And we're talking money from drug deals. We're talking anything like the drugs themselves, even they'll put them in, you know, they're not supposed to do nothing with them. And so the question just, have they been stealing people's shit to sell it and enrich themselves or launder money? I'm just curious. This Patrick Ryder guy, and none of them want to be recorded. And it's like all these worlds, like Sean Reyes is in a very serious court case right now with NYPD. I went to New York for one of them to go to court. And Patrick Ryder is at the tippy top of that thing. And it's like all my worlds are falling in on each other now. Like,
oh my God.
Diddy and Long Island Audit and Britney Spears because Lou Taylor is getting pulled in, and Bam Margera because Paramount and Viacom and what the Charlemagne guy are getting pulled in. It's like everything's coming all converging together in this one case.
Charlemagne the God is getting pulled into. Oh my.
Charlemagne was airing his or syndicating his Breakfast Club show in the morning on Revolt.
Oh, that's right. Revolt. That's right. That right. See, and that's what I'm saying. Is
Revolt, and then Charlemagne had a lot of defending to do, and always had Diddy right on there.
Yeah,
and kind of let Diddy, you know, say what he wanted to say. And my theory, my conspiracy theory, is Diddy has been working with a certain political party in order to influence politics, because that hot sauce in the bag and the Hillary Clinton clip, like they basically framed a whole fake interview just to do that clip, because there's no footage anywhere at all from that interview other than the hot sauce in the bag clip, which did go viral, and it aligned Hillary Clinton with Beyonce, and was married to Jay-Z. Jay-Z and P. Diddy go way, way back. So that's my conspiracy theory. I don't know.
You would imagine, but the thing is that the connections, like if you sit back and just think about just the different, when he said Diddy Enterprise, you sit back and just think about like the many connections. You're talking about years of this, and you know, just like you put in just the image of it. I'm thinking of a little genogram or something, you know, where you put Diddy and then you have all these little air bubbles all over it, and the connections that they're all together because they either did business with each other or were connected with each other or had something to do with each other at some point.
And another thing I'm thinking too is like exactly that. It's like I see Diddy in the middle.
Yeah.
But then I see a line going from Diddy to some other person in the middle. Like there's another person pulling the Diddy strings at least, or enterprise or company or whatever. And it's like, yes, there's the ST. Yes. There is the possession of controlled substances. There is the Second Amendment pew pew. But what about international drug trafficking?
Yeah.
What about that one whistleblower lady? She served time in jail for being like a madam. She did exclusive interview with Andy on Popcorn Planet.
Yeah.
And she was talking about interfacing with Diddy's head of security on this drug trafficking.
Oh yes, I remember that. It was a couple months ago that they had that exclusive interview, and she I think also went about and exposed this as well. This is deep. This is, and I personally feel like we're gonna find out more. Then there's also Shine. That situation with Shine in jail,
and how he is the son of the current like prime minister or whatever it is, wherever he lives. I'm like, whoa, these are really high level political operatives. Where's he from? Belize.
That story right there, I will never. I don't get. And finally Shine admits this year that he's like, yeah, people know that I was the fall guy. Okay. And he has since moved on, and you know, he's changed his life, and Diddy has helped him in the position that he's been in. And that's why he's been conveniently, in my opinion, quiet about certain things. He doesn't like bringing up his past. Yeah. Shine.
I don't trust that man for I could throw him. To be honest,
Me neither.
I don't trust you. You know, you lied for 10 years to cover up for somebody, then you'll lie to my face today. So I'm sorry. I can't really. But then some people were saying he did actually always maintain his innocence. Like he said, like he had a gun that night, but he did not pull the trigger that did that, that ultimately resulted in unaliving or the hurting of people or whatever. But Diddy was always involved in this stuff. Like even his first big event ever was that basketball game where people got locked in and died or whatever, trampled, stampeded, like Travis Scott 1.0.
Yeah.
So it's like this stuff. I'm disappointed to see that they're not pushing it all the way back to the 90s.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed to see that they're making it seem like this was all done just so Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs could get his wet. That's not what this was being done for. It's just not. It was I definitely think one of the reasons Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs got put in a position he did by the larger enterprise is because he has a propensity for sexual depravity. I do think that.
I do feel like they're leaving the door open for anybody else, because at the end of the, he said, if anybody's got any more information or anything like that, please feel free to call whatever. I definitely feel that for sure. What was that?
I'm calling him. Mm-hmm.
Are you? All right.
Yep. And I'm telling him that I was working peacefully, minding my own damn business as a lawyer until P. Diddy's business manager came and threatened me to stop making videos through the use of coercion with my employer. And as a result, I stopped my career. I had to change my career path because of the overt threats of these people. And they had nothing on me. Imagine if they had me on camera doing something. Because that would have been the first thing they would have did. Oh, look, we got you at the freak off. We got you at the whatever they do.
Oh, yeah, that would have been all over social media. That's for sure. Oh, my God. Well,
if it was, you're welcome. Y'all don't even deserve it, honestly. No, I'm just kidding.
Monica says, BJ is calling.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, girl, I don't know. Let's all call. I am calling them because, that is the behavior being alleged, is it not?
Yeah.
That when
if you have information, you should
expose them. They said if people are threatening to expose them, then they would threaten them, often with financial or career ways. That happened to me firsthand from Lou Taylor, who Robin Greenhill was named in the Little Rob Jones lawsuit.
Yep.
And who knows what kind of records I've saved from that, which haven't been yet made public. Who even knows? The FBI and the DOJ is going to know later today. Yes, they are. And we'll see how much they actually care about this investigation. But I think they do. I think at the very least, the DOJ or whoever at Homeland Security, whoever is doing it, heading this up, is definitely willing to at least hang P. Diddy out to dry. But it's like, who else is going to get wrapped up in it? And I kind of think they're not that incentivized to wrap other people up in it. But at the same time,
everybody's being encouraged to call BJ, honestly, like whether it's, you have a viable anybody who does. And I think that's important because they're actually listening. And it makes you wonder, how often have these people been approached about what's been going on with Diddy and they haven't done anything, or they've been sitting on it, or they've been waiting for more things to develop to make things happen. So, it would make sense.
That's the thing too. I think as a counter argument to, what I'm saying, which is like, I'm just, cynical. I think as a counter argument to that, it's like, why would they go through all of this work and drama and all this just for one little P. Diddy? They do have to make sure they have all their ducks in a row, because all the people that they really could go after that are the same size of P. Diddy or bigger, they have access to a lot of money and a lot of good lawyers and a lot of ways to get out of stuff. So you don't want to give all your cards. You don't want to show all your cards at the very beginning too. So
I think the other thing to this is that they have to start looking within their own organization, like Eric and Eric Adams, all these people, right? Because you'd be amazed how many of these people are participating in some of the Diddy freak offs and stuff like that.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Imagine trying to prosecute a friend or someone that the mayor of New York and a former member of the NYPD for years and years, decades. Imagine trying to prosecute someone that they want to protect. It's going to be hard, and you might actually get physically harmed, because I saw it with my own eyes, the way these cops act on Sean's home ring camera. The Patrick Psycho writer had deputies or whatever pull up on Sean's house, and he was being run off the road by these people. He's had to speed home, pull into his driveway very fast and ran inside. You can see it on the ring camera. And they have hoods on, they have masks on. It's officers.
Mhm.
And they're running, they're galloping up to Sean's front door, and you see it on camera. It's like, well, if they'll do that, what I mean, that's a criminal gang. What do you
Yeah.
mean? That they weren't even in their jurisdiction. They left their jurisdiction to hunt him down like that. He was in Suffolk, they were in Nassau or by whatever it was.
What do you make of when the attorney said that Diddy had moved to New York in anticipation for these charges to come through? Do you believe that?
I
What do
do.
you make
I
of that?
believe that they told him that he's going to be indicted, and we
Mhm.
can do this the easy way or the hard way. You're
Mhm.
going to be indicted. So it will probably be in your best interest to make yourself available in New York. And his lawyer probably advised him to do so. Otherwise, they would have to like extradite him from Florida, which or wherever, which would have looked bad. It would have looked like he was
Yeah.
evading. And so it's kind of like, if you don't want to bother to show up for your girl, I was making sure I didn't have court today. If you don't want to bother to show up for your
And if you did, what would you have done? All right, we're done with the slide by.
I would have said, girl, I think I missed my court date. I was about to say, it's like, don't bother showing up for your court date. Whew, girl.
Oh my God.
It's
Don't do
like,
what
oh
Diddy
my
did
Lord,
with the
come.
inmate from Michigan. He didn't even respond to shit.
Oh, girl, we responded. We responded, girl. Yes. we
Okay,
did.
good. I was gonna say, don't do that.
Like I said, more news about that coming soon.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying, but yeah, I think the reason he did, I do think it's true. But then in the press conference today, the assistant U.S. attorney or the U.S. attorney, he said, okay, I understand, and that's cute. And I'm paraphrasing. That's cute that Diddy's lawyer wants to say he moved over here and he's cooperating, but everyone in the public should know that being cooperative and cooperating are specific legal terms of art that has nothing to do with what that lunatic thinks a cooperating witness does. So that's cute, but no. But yeah, I mean, I guess he was in New York and we arrested him. Somebody said, isn't it interesting that today is some kind of secret special full moon, and he was supposed to be arrested today, but then they arrested him yesterday. I don't know what happened to make him arrest him yesterday. Was he going to flee?
I think you have to be careful.
He wasn't going to show up to court. What if they were scared he wasn't going to come to court? Because
is it safe to tell somebody that they're about to be arrested? Or like, I'm thinking that the attorney's like the reason why he got an attorney, in my mind, I'm like, maybe he's going to cooperate or whatnot, but is it safe to tell somebody that they're about to be arrested?
It does differ. Like
Keefe D, for example,
Keefe D has one. And oh no, he has violent. With the RICO charges, it's not, I don't think, but it differs based on the relationship and the context. Like everything is very case by case. Like the O.J. Simpson trial, they had given him the opportunity to turn himself in, to show up at the police station. And then he was like waiting. And Robert Kardashian was there with him and he was going to have him there. But then he ran out the back and he ran away. And it's like, that's the risk that you do run. But they did, even in that case, because it was so high profile. And a lot of times these high profile people, you do have to handle them with kid gloves because they do have good lawyers and they will wreck your entire thing. I mean, just look at this Baldwin case. He will never be tried for anything having to do with that ever again. And it's because he had a very good lawyer and he had very good legal team. And so
that's
it's both ways. So sometimes when you do have a really, really good lawyer, you'll get the benefit of their credibility. So maybe Williams has experience working with Affigato or whatever his name. And look, dude, he can come turn himself in on Monday night, spend the night in jail, or, turn himself in. Or I'm just speculating, right? This can happen. And it's like, and we won't do the whole handcuff him in the public and all that. Just bring him in. But if you don't do that, we're going to arrest him and we're going to make it like he's regular person. So that's your options. And it kind of, I don't think they should do that, but it kind of gives them a little bit of cushion for like whenever they're going to have to be defending every single decision that they've made along this process, because they do have to follow the law. They do have to do the right, Fifth Amendment, search and seizure, Fourth Amendment, all that. So I do think he probably was in New York, and I think it was because he knows that his ass is in trouble and he better not try and run. But then at the same time, I don't know. Did they sentence him? Should we look up like updates? Like, did they make him stay in the jail, or that's
Yeah.
what the U.S. attorney wanted?
Yeah. I do, man. It just, what gets me is that, and going back to your point, how they're not going further out. You have Kim Porter, like they're in my mind. I'm like, that woman probably knew a lot more, and she took a lot with her. And then I don't know, what do you make of her writing a book and things being leaked about this book? I mean, where do you land with that? Do you feel like she was writing a book? And
I think she was writing a book. I think it's real, and I think there's portions of it out there in the world that people have, and I think we are going to see them eventually. I do think
yeah,
that. I do. I mean, haven't you even had the thought from time to time, like, damn, I should write a book about this? Like,
yeah,
crazy stuff that happens in your regular everyday life. Now imagine you're Kim Porter. Like, of course she would have written that stuff down. And was it in a notebook? Was it on a Google Drive? Was it on a hard drive? I don't know any details, but I do think that's real. What about you?
it
Do you
would
think
be
that she was writing a book?
amazing. You know, I think she was, but I don't know if it's necessarily as they're making it out to be. Maybe there were
It might
parts of
be
it.
diary or journal.
Yeah, I was thinking like a journal diary, but I was like, man, it would be like the divine of something, you know, if somehow they were able to get some whatever she says and it made it into these legal documents, something that would extend further to even believe that maybe there's more to her death. And I know there is. I in my heart feel like this woman was murdered.
I
I
do
know you
too.
do, but are we ever going to find out the truth? And I know that the people around that circle know that as well. But I also feel, because they don't speak out. I mean, or they do, but it's like not fully. And now that maybe they got Diddy, maybe people are going to start speaking out that are in the industry. I mean, I don't know if you read the latest lawsuit with Don. Danity Kane, you didn't hear about this one last week?
Ah, my thing started screaming at me. An ad started playing. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine.
Did I read the most recent law? No.
Don
With
Richards.
Dawn.
Oh, okay. With Danity Dirty Money. Okay,
No.
so that one. So you had Don Richards, and then you had Kalina Harper and Diddy, right? Three group.
Mhm.
Don is the one filing this lawsuit. This literally happened last week, and it was like the news last week. And in there, she alleged,
Right.
that she saw some of the stuff that Diddy did to Cassie, and that Kalina would interfere, you know, because they didn't want to get in trouble. She locked, she's alleging, Don alleged that Diddy locked her up in a car that had no way to get out for hours upon hours as a form of abuse. It got so bad that she was calling her dad from the car. Don was, and her dad came and basically rescued, and it had to do with with the head of Bad Boy, and all this went down. I mean, that lawsuit has a lot of details. I'm surprised you hadn't read it. That
I
lawsuit has a
know.
lot of
I meant
details.
to, but it's like, it's so, how many we got? 15 Diddy lawsuits, and
We
it's
have
like
15.
the same allegations over and over, but this sounds different, right? I mean, I do
This
understand
doesn't
that.
have pictures. You know, this is not like a picture book, you know, and it was filed by Lisa Bloom's
This one
office.
wasn't a Tyrone Blackburn.
This one was not a Yeah, you know how I feel about
But
Tyrone
girl,
Blackburn.
do you know Lisa Bloom is Gloria Allred's daughter?
Yes, I do.
They like don't really emphasize that. And Gloria, I don't know, girl. Like,
I don't know why.
A huge fan. I know they should. I
They
used to be a
should.
huge fan. Then it's like, I don't know, what did I find out about Lisa Bloom? She did something weird having to do with Britney Spears, where I was like, oh, she's in on it. I'll have to think on that more. But she's huge, right? Lisa Bloom is a lot more considered by the public to be credible than like a Tyrone Blackburn, who's still maybe up and coming, trying to make his name a little more, hasn't really been that successful in winning cases. Whereas Lisa Bloom, I mean, I think that was Black China's divorce attorney from Rob Kardashian. Like, she's a big deal.
She's a big deal. So
she's the one filed this lawsuit.
She filed this law. So this is why I think, okay, this lawsuit, very well written lawsuit, by the way. Definitely recommend. If you need a copy of it, let me know and I can send it to you. So it was, I think it's like, it was a long lawsuit. It was about 55 pages or so, but it details and it gives and it adds people. So there was an event where Don saw Diddy hit Cassie, okay, and Usher and Neo were in the room.
And she names them by name. She doesn't
names
say
them
a
by
former child star whose name
No.
rhymes with Cusher or
no
something.
asterisk. She put names. It's names in that lawsuit. So this is why I'm like, when I looked at the office, I said, "Oh, it's Lisa Bloom's office." My thing is I don't know. Maybe Tyrone Blackburn will use this indictment to like show somehow that here's my clients have credibility, yada yada yada. But for me, I haven't seen a lot of success out of him, and I do feel like he rides the wave of these victim stories.
And it's like one of those things that we talked about earlier about like Jonathan Oddie, like two things can be true. The man can be a deranged clout chaser and he could be telling the truth in some of this stuff. So it's like, that's why I appreciate the court process. I don't appreciate how much it costs, but like, you can't just go in there and say stuff. You gotta really prove it. Like you can't just go in there and say stuff. You have to show it. And so, Tyrone Blackburn shows too much. I think he might show too much.
Right. And we all have to be critical of it as well, because like I said, you know, there are people, you know, that use this kind of stuff to maybe give misinformation about something that happened. For me, you know, I will believe, but I also feel like people that stand up and file their lawsuits are also facing a level of scrutiny and criticism. And I think that that's kind of expected, not just for the victim, but also for the alleged perp.
It's true. Right? If you're going to come and make allegations against somebody of the most severe and extreme type, you better be telling the truth, and you better be ready for that person to defend themselves.
Exactly.
And that's, I mean, I think Lima Yevremovich and her family is learning that as well. I mean, it's as much as it takes to put it out there, you better be ready for somebody to defend themselves and vigorously. And I don't think that they were. And I don't know. I mean, I do think somebody said this earlier. They've been planning this a long time. I do think they have been trying to get at least some of these people rounded up for a long time. And look at this pin comment. I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Can you see it, Sarah, with an H, what she said? It says, Diddy is a devil, but he also is a very public pawn. The real corruption is deep behind the scenes. We'll never know their names. What's your take on reading something like that?
I believe it.
You agree with it?
I do. Like I said it before. I think the Diddy, there's no way, you know, even in the indictment where it talked about, well, there's other people, and I feel like they're bigger than Diddy that have enabled him, that have allowed him to do all of this. Especially this whole,
created him.
This is beyond freak offs. This is beyond, you know, baby oil and stuff like that. You guys, somebody enabled him, and I think that this is only very much surface level. The difference, and I was thinking about this because you had R. Kelly, which was a pretty big thing that hit the media when it did. Then you had Tiny and T.I., and that didn't even go anywhere. And then now you have this. You can definitely tell that there's a difference. I mean, we have some data to compare about some of these industry folks' lawsuits just to figure out what did it.
We
for
sure
them.
do.
You know what I mean? So I sit there and I kind of wonder, okay, well, this is what happened with R. Kelly, and this is what happened with, now we have Diddy. But I definitely personally feel like there's much bigger things behind Diddy. Bigger.
I think so too. And it's Clive Davis coded. And I mean, even some of these people that he did perhaps maybe groom as kids and then they grew up, like, is he going to be held responsible for that? Like,
yeah,
you know, allegedly groomed as kids. I don't know. I wasn't there until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But
and
I agree with you. I think that. Wait, what happened?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish. Sorry, I cut you off.
What about the videotape?
I'm thinking who the videotapes. They collected a lot of videotapes. Do you wonder what's in the videotapes? Because I'm thinking freak off.
I think that's what the question on all our minds.
Black market freak outs. Who's in the videotapes?
What were they like? Okay, here's the thing. And I think it was one of the first things you said today on this live. There's a difference between being freaky and criminal abuse, you know?
Yeah.
And I do think that is what Diddy would say and will say in his defense. This was all consensual, adults. Everybody was free to leave at any time. Like, I think that's what they'll say. And it's like, even I think by calling these freak offs, is
Mhm.
literally Diddy called it that on purpose. Because if you called it something that didn't imply that it was just being freaky, right? Like, do you want to do your 3-day long, like, Guantanamo level torture session today? No. What about a freak off?
Yeah.
Um,
It takes the criminal part out of it a little bit when you call it a freak, because you're thinking, oh, these are consenting adults. That, and then it also
yeah.
makes me wonder about Young Miami as well. All
What
of
does
these,
it make
because
you
let me
wonder
tell you,
about her?
listen, Epstein had his madam. Who are these madams? Like it.
What about if it was J-Lo? What if that's what, because that's what the indictment said. As part of the conspiracy, everyone
Mm.
involved had to do at least 2 of the activities. And it was like kidnap, arson, trafficking across state lines for institution. It was a bunch of stuff. And it was like in order to be in it. But then
Yeah.
again, devil's advocate, they said it didn't start till 2008.
Yes.
Diddy and
And
J-Lo
there's minors.
prior.
When Don Richards' lawsuit talks
Yeah.
about parties and there being minors, and they would, Lord have mercy, I know I have it here, but there's a portion in that lawsuit that talks about how they would they would bring in, I don't want to say bus in, I don't think that's the right word, but they would bring in minors, and they would bring in, people that were this is the word, exotic minors. So if you read that lawsuit, yeah, so this is
Like
that
black and
enterprise
brown.
part.
I take that to mean.
Yeah, like black and brown exotic minors. That's what the lawsuit said, in Don's lawsuit. There's a page in there, and it outs. I mean, it was very specific, and Don would talk about the fact that she didn't want to be part of that, but that it was there. It's true. You guys got to read. I mean, Danity Kane, that whole situation right there, and she outlines her time there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so okay, there's some comments here. Minion is saying from the Scientology centers. I don't know if that's just a guess. I don't know if you're trying to imply whatever, but like there is a little bit of attenuated connection to Scientology, which has also been accused of similar behaviors like abuse, physical trafficking, labor, kidnap, forced labor, slavery. So would it be surprising to me to find out that these people were getting victims from Scientology hotels? No, it would not, because we've heard what Serge has said. We've heard what the other survivors have said about what happens to children inside the hotels. We've also heard that Diddy's living in a hotel.
Yes.
And has lived in hotels. The freak-offs happen in hotels. And what have we learned from Serge, if nothing else? The abuse happens in these hotels.
Yes.
And on top of that, Robin Greenhill, who is listed in the Lil Rod lawsuit as Diddy's accountant, as having paid the S workers, including Daphne Joy, 50 Cent's baby's mom and ex, this Robin Greenhill person has been represented by Winston and Strawn. And that was the law firm I actually had worked at for not long before Lou Taylor tried to throw her weight around, as referenced earlier. But Winston and Strawn represented also the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
In a case that went all the way up to the Supreme Court. I'm not talking about they represented Danny Masterson only. No. The Church of Scientology went out into the world and hired a law firm to represent them, Rabbit. Do you think they would ever choose a lawyer to represent them that wasn't a Scientologist?
No,
Just
I mean,
your thoughts. You don't know. You weren't there. What do you think?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it
would surprise me immensely if they went out into the world and hired someone who was not a Scientologist to represent the Church of Scientology. I would be expecting them to hire a Scientologist because that's who's going to be defending of their practices.
But do you think that they, like a lot of people, but it does kind of make me wonder though. I'm just wondering, like, do people, especially those that are in the higher up, ever say, I'm a Scientologist? Do they own that publicly? I mean, then you have the whole situation with Emily Armstrong right now with Lincoln Park. We're finding out, at least as a never in, I'm finding out more about how much in she is based on, the ex-Scientologists, everything that they're saying. Some people don't
to be
own
clear
that.
and fair, I don't care if somebody is a Scientologist. If you want to go down and get your audits, girl, it might even actually legitimately help some of them. I don't know. What I do know is what has been described to me as having had done to the children. That's not acceptable. And having, the listening to the people who claim to have been in it and how they were abused in the hole and these other places, it's like that is slavery. You cannot leave. So that's not
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm bothered by. I'm not quite as bothered by if somebody wants to go down and donate 10 million to the Scientology. I mean, it is bothersome, but from a freedom perspective, they could do that if they want. I want to be able to spend my money how I want if I make it. But then it's
Yes.
like, wait a second, where are they actually getting all these kids and these minors and these women and these men from? I mean, I do know that they were scouting at the talent shows for Little Usher and Little
Yes.
Star Search. You know, they were very involved in Star Search. They were very involved in those talent, beauty pageants. Kim Porter was a
Absolutely.
model in beauty pageants. So I know they were scouting their talent from there, but then there's this whole other enterprise going on, right? Where they get in security. Well, we know that they got some of them from the Nation of Islam, the Muslim, not the Brotherhood, the Nation of Islam, the Farrakhan, the one that he's in charge of. Some of their
Yes.
security came from there. How do we know that? We know that from the word of mouth of the people who were there. So could they be lying? Of course, I wasn't there. But it's like, okay, well, Scientology and Nation of Islam, we already know are connected as well. They're linked up as well. And so it's like, well, they're all kind of starting to come in on each other. And you mean to tell me this is all just P. Diddy wanting to get his you-know-what wet? No, not
Yeah,
mine.
no, this is deeper than that. That's for sure. And it's interesting. So I just pulled Don's lawsuit, right? And literally here it is. Mr. Combs had arranged for dozens of young women and girls, some of whom appeared to be underage, to be transported to the party. The women arrive wearing little to no clothes, were given drugs and alcohol. Many of them appeared lethargic and passed out while Combs and his guests performed acts on them. And Miss Richards believes that her presence at the party was a test to see whether Mr. Combs could trust her. And it was
Yes.
quoted, page 1461. It said, Combs repeatedly said things like, "This is a buffet. Enjoy yourselves. This is what we do. This is how we party." And this is where Dawn says she felt horrified and shocked, and that his guests because she was watching guests violate incapacitated young women.
I did
Okay?
read this excerpt. Someone posted this
Yes.
part.
Yeah. So heads up on that. That just letting you know, a lot of this is coming from that. And it does kind of make you wonder about that. Mm-hmm.
Well, that would reinforce the allegation made in the indictment that everybody in
Yes.
the enterprise had to do something to become compromised. So then you think about it and it's like, well, Ashton Kutcher, I saw his ass right there in the white party in 2009, which is allegedly.
How many of those white parties though, BJ? And all those white parties, we got a lot of public celebrity pictures. How many of those were actually undercover freak offs?
And
You
I
heard what Marlon
hate
Wayans.
I hate to tell y'all this, some people listening and stuff, because I got all kind of political viewpoints as audience members, but y'all need to know Donald Trump was at these white parties and he was taking pictures with Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
He even was in Diddy's 1994 or 6 or whatever it was birthday party invitation video.
Mm-hmm.
They sent out this VHS tape video as an invitation. Donald Trump's on it. Come to my friend Sean's party, whatever. And it's like, y'all, I'm sorry. I know y'all like him. I do. I know y'all like him, but I like the truth. And if he was there doing stuff, he ought to be pulled in just like the rest.
Yes. And Trump Jr. talked about his wife also with the situation with Kim. I think it was Kim. See what I'm saying? It's like all of these people are close. And listen,
that's true. His wife was friends with Kim Porter, and he was dating Aubrey O'Day at one point as well, who was in Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs' human trafficking band, the Pussycat Dolls. I mean, alleged human trafficking band.
Yep.
I mean, Kaya Jones came out years ago. She's gone off the deep end lately, but she came out years ago and said that she was abused, that the Pussycat Dolls was a glorified, quote, prostitution ring. And that was, she was laughed off the face of the earth for that. And now we're reading it in a federal indictment.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can't, I know not to make this political or anything like that. And I honestly don't even try, but just show the truth.
Yeah.
Show what's already out there. You cannot rewrite history about these people. And you have to understand this isn't about
Danity Kane. Wait, I think I did what's this? I think I got those confused. Yes. Pussycat Dolls is not Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs' band. Kaya Jones
Danity Kane.
Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
Aubrey O'Day was in Danity Kane.
Danity Kane.
Which
That's right.
was a band from Sean P. Diddy Combs' show, Making the Band, which was originally started by Lou Pearlman, the Backstreet
Yes.
Boys and NSYNC founder.
Absolutely.
And then they did O-Town. So I just wanted to correct the record for history because I misspoke earlier. Yes, I got Pussycat Dolls and Danity Kane confused.
Mixed up.
Yeah.
It's like, but honestly, if you think about it, yeah, they have similar allegations if you really
And
think
the
about it.
Pussycat Dolls started in the Viper Room, Johnny Depp's
Viper
now
Room?
burnt down. Do you know Johnny Depp owned the Viper Room at some point? So the Viper Room is where the Pussycat Dolls were like had a residency basically before they were like a band. They were a burlesque group.
That's what I thought. That's what I mean, that was my isn't that how it all started? Anyways.
Oh, Willie Brown. Then there's this political connection too. Just so y'all know, I'm not just picking on the right. Let me be an equal opportunity commentator real quick. Picker real quick. Kamala Harris, hate to tell y'all. Look, y'all just heard me pick on Trump, so y'all got to listen up for this one too. Don't leave. Kamala Harris was very active in the political scene as a young woman, and when she was in her 20s was dating like a 60-year-old Willie Brown. Okay, he was a prominent politician in California and was going to red carpet events with Montel. So it's like, I hate whenever people say women slept their way to the top. Obviously, I don't like that. I think it's usually a very lazy thing to say. But girl, I never dated a 60-year-old politician and became vice president. I'll tell you that.
No.
I'll tell you that. Let me look up a picture of them together.
BJ, I do have to head out because I got Baby Bunny. That I gotta go to.
I'm gonna head out soon too. Don't worry. I won't be
Yes.
on here long.
I appreciate you. Like,
hold on, one second though. I want you to see. Oh my God, here she is. Look at this. Look at this. I can't deal with it. Hold on. This is not how I arose to the top.
Oh yes.
I'll tell you that. This ain't the path I took. Look at this.
Oh,
Look at
Lord
her
have
at the table
mercy.
with this man. Look at your future president, 25, 9, 28 years old, dating this old man. Look at him. Please. Okay. All right. Oh, shoot. Hold on.
You're fine.
Okay. I'll let you go. Have fun with Baby Bunny. Thank you so
I
much
do.
for coming over here. It was so fun. Come back anytime and I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, BJ. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Ooh, I can't exit. Where did I go?
I can
here.
kick you out. There you go. Now you're kicked out. Executive order. There was an executive order. Something just happened. What was it? I don't know. Sometimes y'all be saying stuff that ain't relevant, and then I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Executive order 13818. Oh, it's like okay, so it's a Donald Trump executive order. I don't know why you put this up here. I don't know. We're gonna go on an adventure. Let me show y'all what that means. Blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights. Why would you block their property? Prevalence of very human rights abuse, corruption outside the United States. Reach such scope. I don't understand what this executive order is. I've also been on live for like almost 3 hours or like 2.5 hours, so I'm a little bit what the hell? Oh, okay. Let's see if anything else has happened with Diddy. I'm just gonna type in like Diddy arrest updates because we've been on here for a while. Been charged with 3 counts. No, nothing's new from what we've talked about here. Conservator complaint for confiscated assets. Protesters. I don't know what it's about. River Phoenix died in front of the Viper Room. We have Joaquin, his brother, born in the Church of God. Or what is sorry, I'm sorry, not the Church of God. Don't let me blaspheme. The Children of God. The Children of God. His brother died outside the Viper Room. Viper Room is not connected to Danity Kane. It's Pussycat Dolls. I had mixed it up though. Gene Deal just posted a video on Diddy. The 3 counts were racketeering, trafficking, and I think it was like interstate like putting people across state lines for the purposes of that. Oh yeah, what has 50 Cent said? Let me go check his too. Instagram. Because one of y'all told me he was awake now. Oh yeah, first thing that came up. Oh, this is interesting. Why does he have Drew Barrymore here? Because she used to also go to like club 57, 47 club, whatever it was. Here I am keeping good company with the Drew Barrymore show, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of LUBE at the house. I don't know what that means. Like, is he trying? I don't get it. Why is he bringing Drew Barrymore into this? Is she trying to say she was at the I don't know. I don't get it. That's it. So that was it. He don't have 1,000 bottles. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why he posted that. Okay, so what else were we going to look at? Gene Deal, y'all said, had posted a Diddy video. I didn't know Gene Deal had a presence like that. I thought he was just going on other people's stuff. All right, here he is. Oh, wow, he sure does. Okay. Oh, he's live. Oh, let's see what he's talking about. It's very loud. Okay, let me rewind. How long has he been live? Oh, he's only been live since right now, like 3 minutes. This is a former Diddy bodyguard. He's just listening to a song. Ah. I don't know what Gene Deal is doing over there. Oh, 50 Cent went on our show yesterday. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. So he's just playing, Sybil said. That's his intro. Okay. So he's about to talk. Why would he go live while Diddy's getting arrested? Well, he's not his bodyguard anymore, girl. He does this for a while. I get in 10 minutes. Oh, Gene, come on. All right. It is. It's a massive spider web. Oh, why wouldn't he? Yeah. So yeah. I mean, he's gonna spill some tea. All right. Well, I don't know. Actually, no, I don't. And this is one thing that y'all are just gonna have to just take my opinion or leave it. You can get off my channel, you don't like it. I don't. I think if they had a video of Trump doing something, it wouldn't necessarily be out. No, I don't. Because we gotta define who's the they we're talking about. Because if they're all in it together and one video comes out of one person, who knows who else might be on that video? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of reasons why a video might not come out. That being said, I'm not implying or saying that there is a video of Donald Trump. There might be no videos of Donald Trump. But does somebody have to be on video to have done something? No, they don't. Now, I'm not saying he did it. And I actually really hope he did not. I would hope he did not. And I mean, all I know is that he's been alleged, by some people here and there. And that was more in connection with the Steens and the Steins than the Diddys and the Jay-Z's. But, right. Since when does the public get the truth? It's true. There's so much gets hidden from us. It's just so true. It's just so true. And it's stupid too, because it shouldn't be hidden. This is a case being filed and financed with our money, our tax money they got from us, from our labor and our work. And they're bringing these cases to supposedly, allegedly protect us. So if we the people are paying for it and you're doing it for we the people, we ought to be able to see what you're doing. Y'all know that ain't how it goes. Y'all know that ain't how it goes. And Obama apparently also went to the party. And I wouldn't be surprised. And this is where I'm equal opportunity with it, because my loyalty doesn't lie with these men or women. My loyalty lies with what's only thing going to be left standing at the end of all this, and that's the truth. At the end of all this, our houses won't be here, our bodies won't be here, none of it will be here, our legacy will be left, and the truth is all that will remain, and it cannot stay hidden for long. If Obama was at one of these parties, then I would like to see the evidence. If Trump was at one of these parties, I would like to see the evidence. But I have no problem believing one of them would be there because of what I know about this system. That's what I'll say about that. Am I going to holler at Gene? Oh, he's speaking now. All right, let's go to him and see what he's saying over there.
About today.
Okay.
When I told y'all in 2011, they went to offer somebody a proffer agreement.
Yeah.
A proffer agreement. There's a lot of stuff they're not telling y'all that it may be sealed, it might was an indictment, but they can still add on a lot of charges and add on a lot of things based on individuals that they get to come. They just dropped this because they've been watching old boy, been tapping phones, you know what I'm saying? Been watching him trying to get at certain people. I just want y'all to know, a matter with ass, a water with ass, my matter with is a member, y'all. Let me get it. Matter with ass, read, matter with ass, read, matter with ass is a member, y'all. A matter with ass.
What is he talking about?
Knowledge of self and others and knowledge around you don't make you a criminal. Like
okay.
Some of these people out here would try to make it seem like.
Okay. So he is taking issue. Gene Deal's taking issue with the fact that people are saying, well, why didn't you do anything? You knew about it. I actually have that question myself. Now, I am told that he did start doing stuff about it and he eventually quit because of it and all that. I don't really know. But he's saying just having knowledge of something doesn't make you a part of the criminal enterprise. And legally, that's up for debate. Legally, it's going to have to get sorted out in court. But I don't know if Gene's got the legal analysis quite right here.
Being that dude that helped start the same game, helped start slicking a family, helped do block parties, helped do boat rides, helped do picnics that people enjoyed their time from the mid-'80s to the early 2000s. Don't make
That is another thing too. Gene Deal is talking about things that happen outside of the scope of what they're trying to even charge for, which is one of my main issues. They did not charge for anything that happened in the 90s, the 80s, the early 2000s. So everything Gene Deal is referring to right here, it's irrelevant. They don't start it until 2008.
you a criminal. Being that dude that was able to bring gangsters and industry people together to stop some of the bullshit don't make you a criminal. Hard-hitting documentaries, what's up with you? Come up the win. Hey, legal queen. It don't make you a criminal. Stopping beefs and being able to go in any project.
Oh, the dog is upset.
In the New York City area, and you can only do paid interviews.
Who's here? Is it Jaguar in there?
All right.
Oh yeah, wait, one more thing, a disclaimer. My aunt saw you on the float. She was like, tell G he need to move more.
That has to be her.
Wow.
I was like, they yelling at you, like you did not look over. I said, all right, y'all can beat them up for y'all see him.
All right.
It was like, Gene.
Okay. All right.
I'll fix it
Later. One. All right. I don't smile enough. She said, "We're so happy to see you smile." Okay, but who's that right there? You have stood on business from day one. Much respect for that. You spoke on the others who's not. Thank you. Measurement. Salute to measurement. Lord
Huh.
Bridge. Then he had 1,000 bottles of booty grease seized in his home. Who was you helping him?
So he's just like reading comments or whatever right now. I want to see what they've actually filed in the case. Like, it's not coming up on Pacer. SDNY Diddy documents. I'm just gonna type it in like that, see if something comes up. Oh, there's a press release. It's the same as the press conference, I'm sure. Yeah, the press release is also out on the United States Attorney's Office. He did? Gene talks about me? He knows I exist? No way, Amanda. Where? Where did he said me specifically, or he like hinted? Nobody ever gives me credit. Ever. Except whenever they want to come give me credit for being haters, but that's fine. I'll have no problem. I'm on page 4 of the indictment. I bet you dollars to donuts that Miss Ellen D is associated with the media group, and that's why he was on there always. Well, Tara Lynn talks to you when you get to this part of the video. Hey, that's interesting. Oh, he called me a young lady. Wait, law princess? No, he did not. Where does he live also? Is he on the East Coast? Because he could come over here to the studio and we could do a little quick podcast and he can go. Or maybe we can go to the Panera Bread. I don't like people in my house. But he could come. I mean, he's been around. I've heard of him. I tell every single person I know about your amazing work. Oh, that's nice. Oh, the law princess digging in the attorney to the Kim Porter case. Gene Deal, that is so cute. I did not know he even knew I existed. That is so cute. Let's see if he's talking about anything now.
Drinking lemonade.
I had a smoothie, but it got hot.
No face, no case. What up, Lucy? B-Dog, salute. Vanessa Marshall. As we say, hello, everybody.
I want him to see me.
Name me Nia. So now, anybody that's trying to tell you that they coming after Gene Deal, what I did was, and like I told y'all, that there will be other people. When I first started this stuff, I said that it won't be me. There'll be other people that gains the strength. They'll see God's plan. Y'all gotta understand, you can't make a deal with the devil and think the devil's gonna see you right the whole time. I want to get on some niggas from Harlem. No homo, no Diddy, no.
I didn't know he was going to say this stuff, y'all. He's live right now.
No pause or none of that shit. Up a dog in the park with a priest in front of him. Threw the dog in the air and it hit the ground like it was a brick. Boom.
I think court already happened.
Didn't move on everything I love. The day of Sean Wolf and his tribe.
The law princess is watching you. Oh my God. I hope he said that. That's funny.
On everything I love. I moved in. After he did that shit to D-Ferg,
I don't know what he did to D-Ferg.
3 days. His mother did that shit in the office. I was gone and never came back and never looked back.
What did his mother do, Gene?
Keep on blessing you and giving
Y'all,
chances.
I have watched hours and hours of Gene Deal. Okay, don't take me being surprised he said some of this stuff as if I never saw him.
Infamous Mark Kerry say,
I've seen him a lot. I've seen a lot of Gene Deal stuff, but he, like y'all, some of y'all pointed out, he's been talking for years. I haven't seen every single thing he's ever done. So some of this stuff I missed.
because I was dancing with the devil. Mark, I think mine's got you though. Life, the death, and the garden, the hip hop star.
Should I read that on bedtime wind down? Should I read Life After Death when guarding a hip hop star on my sleepy time channel?
At the network telling me, Gene, I've read both of your books. And this second one, I think I like it better. This is the first one, My World of Bodyguard, a Hip Hop Star. Go on Amazon to get it, or cash out me Big Gene 52.
Big Gene 52.
And you could purchase it. If you just cash out me Big Gene, cash out me Big Gene 10.
Oh my Lord, y'all. Are we just going to be on here all day? Are we doing a marathon today? According to Inner City Press, who religiously reports on SDNY, he is set to appear at 2:30 p.m. Well, if I had known that, I would have gotten in my car and went over there this morning. It's too late now. Let's get back to Gene. So we may be doing a 2:30. I may be on here still. I may be coming back.
The books is Big Gene 52. They're gonna have still a hard time. They're gonna have to have people come in there and say that which one was Mr. Combs' designated bedroom. Even though they may know it, they have to have witnesses, the cooks, the maids, the people that cleaned up, to testify which was his bedroom. Because they said they got the guns from his closet in his bedroom.
They did say that.
David Sprouse, thank you for the cash out. So now we're gonna have to have the maids, the cooks, whoever served them food, they have to designate which one was his bedroom. They're gonna have to testify to that.
True. Okay. So he's saying, okay, they're saying they got stuff from Diddy's bedroom. What's to stop somebody from going, that wasn't Diddy's bedroom. That was my bedroom. So then he's saying all this stuff they're saying, it's not proven. They're going to have to show proof, stuff we've already said here.
I don't know what security dumb motherfucking ass told him if those guns are broken down, they can't charge him with having those guns in his house.
There is some support for like sentencing guidelines and stuff like that, where it's like you can sometimes be considered as being less trouble if you have just parts where it's broken down. But there's all kind of variables. Like if you have all the parts and they're all sitting right there and you could just put it together, that's not really helpful. But if you only have one little part of it and then the rest of the parts to make the thing actually work are over in, 2 counties over, you could be, it depends. Then at that point, it becomes a gray area. But certainly I agree with Gene, and he is right. You can't not be charged for possession just because you broke down the gun. Like, when you break it down to clean it, you're not in possession of it? Like, but yeah, I mean, they do consider, right? Like, could you use it? Was it readily available to you right now to use for its intended purpose? And if it's broken down, usually, the answer is no. You have to put it back together.
The thing that he'll beat that on, were they operable? They wasn't operable.
Operable. See, yes. Right.
They said they were broken down, but they was defaced.
Defaced is different than operable.
That may be a lesser charge.
Gene's smart. He knows.
Being found in his house.
Yep. It's true. He knows.
It's not against the law for a law-abiding citizen to own a weapon.
True.
So I don't understand why.
Actually, Gene, I'll do you one better. It's constitutionally protected. I know a lot of y'all don't like that, but it is the facts.
Somebody legally that had armor.
That's true. Rabbit does. I meant like the big, like bigger than me.
All the guns that would be registered in case somebody.
They don't want to give me no credit.
Unless he was using them like they tried to say he was using them to intimidate people. I don't know. I wasn't around.
He said, I left. I don't know. I wasn't there.
I wasn't around in 2009.
I don't know. I wasn't there. Gene said, I don't know. I wasn't there.
2024. I speak on some of that shit, like Cassie and the rest of them.
Yes.
From hearsay.
Lauren. Yes. Right. Exactly.
No. Yeah, I witnessed that. I witnessed what I saw at the hospital. The pillow fights.
Pillow fights.
Hey, Natasha Bunty. Natasha, you want to post? Oh, you requesting one. What kind of shit is that, Natasha? We don't do that here, Natasha. Natasha thought she was slick. She was trying to catch this big Gene on she was trying to catch Big Gene on like, let me see, is he gonna realize this and pay me that? Oh, cancel the request? It's canceled. Sorry about that, y'all. So now, we know the gun thing is going to be something stress. That sex trafficking thing, and they're going to use Young Miami. She made a statement. That's why I know what I say on the internet. That's when people try to tell y'all, I said this, I said that, and the whole 9 yards. I know what I say. I know the statements that I've made, that if I'm brought in to testify anything, feet.
Okay.
And like this girl told this other girl, her grandma would say, if you got holes, you sitting on $50. What? Yo, this shit is crazy, man. So now, check this out. Just to get down to this, not to, making a joke in the matter out of this, because the prosecutor is trying to say they're trying to detain him. They already put in the paperwork to detain him. And in the interim of detaining him, TLK, thank you for the $10. Thank you for the cash out. Appreciate you, TLK.
Sloan was in the chat. Hey, Sloan. I was on a bathroom break, probably.
See, this is a double standard.
What is? I missed it. I was reading comment.
This is a double standard, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know.
Tell me.
I don't give a shit about old boy case and what happens, and that's him. He had ample opportunity to do the right thing for a lot of people and not have to be in this situation.
The people say baby oil.
I know people are going to come to his defense. People that he known for a long time. They're even going to do documentaries that's going to come to his defense. And I don't have a problem with that. Like I said before, I spent 27 years trying to keep Black men, Hispanic men, men of all ages, men of all creed and colors out of jail. By teaching them the right thing. I'm trying to help them reintegrate themselves back into society the correct way that I knew how. But this is a double standard.
Okay.
When the WWF was faced, listen to me, y'all go do the history.
WWF?
I guide y'all And I want y'all to go if y'all interested.
Okay.
And find out the information for yourself.
Okay, tell me, what is it?
When the WWF was faced with sex trafficking from this McMahon,
Okay,
the
WWE.
federal government did not do what they're doing to old boy.
I agree. I completely agree with this. Completely. Why has that man not been got? He did the same allegations.
None of the shit that he did.
Alleged.
But it's a double
Alleged.
standard.
I do agree. And what about Clive Davis? What about Clive Davis
A
too?
lot of things that I'm going to be talking about.
I know it was WWF. I know. I was also alive and around when it was WWF, but now people don't say it anymore. Like when they say WWF, they usually mean the Wildlife Federation or whatever. So it is confusing. But then whenever he said Vince McMahon, I knew that's what he meant.
So how I knew, what I knew,
Irving Azoff.
and where I got some of the information from. I definitely will be talking to y'all again on the art of dialogue.
Well, what about over here? What about on the Art of Law Princess? I want Gene Deal to come talk to me and us.
William Lloyd.
He's reading a text.
For that cash out, William Lloyd.
The phone is blowing up. The phone is blowing up.
Was it for little on me or was it for some books? He said, no, I ain't giving you nothing, man. Better get my books together.
He's reading messages, I guess. Are we caught up?
Okay, Mr. Lloyd, I'll get your book.
I got to get me that book too. I'll probably just get it on Amazon. What?
I think I'm doing it the wrong way.
What happened?
It's all right.
Hold on. It might be something he did. My computer's been lagging today, and the longer I'm live, the worse it gets. Diddy arrest? Damn. The Gene Deal star.
People was hitting me up
No,
crazy
he's
talking
okay.
about,
No, it's me.
"How you knew it was going to be September? What was going down?" Is you having a conversation with people that were investigated or spoke to the what you call that? The federal government, the Homeland Security, who brought them in and asked them questions regarding the incident that they saw. So my whole thing about it is this, y'all. It's gonna go on for a minute. They're gonna break them.
So now,
an individual like Puff
now
can't be in jail.
Now he's saying what he predicts is gonna happen next.
He can't be closed in. If you know him personally, like I knew him, I hope he got off the drugs and he's gonna need the detox.
That's hard. The detox withdrawal ain't gonna be easy.
He already told you at one time he did detox, but I don't believe that because it's not the same face, the same look, you know, from when you knowing somebody and you was around them for about 12 years that he had. My whole thing about it is that I hope the kid, well, he's a grown man. I hope he gets the help he needs.
Yeah, he's an adult at this point. He's 50.
He becomes a better person. Because he wasn't born a monster. He was made a monster. And the same people
Yes. Yes, Clive.
Made him a monster. It's the same people that's helping taking him down.
I agree with that. I think that's what's going on too.
It's the same people.
Same people that did this to him, they always were setting him up to be the patsy.
All all these years
Yeah.
in the music business,
Yes. I do think that is true, but he is a monster.
doing the alcohol, the marketing, the distribution of all that shit,
Mm.
it's the same people that have decided
He's got to go down.
say that. That's not right.
You funny.
You know how you get that person inside you and you want to say, nigga, we don't need you no more.
No, I've never felt that feeling like that. No.
Allow that person to come out and say that.
Huh. What?
I'm not going to be and belittle myself to those type of actions. I'm going to think of something better to say. I'll be with y'all in a minute. Or I'll come back to that. But all this.
The Quincy, yeah, Quincy Jones.
And if
What
you
was that
look
about?
at the history of everybody that fell before him or died before him.
Nope, never felt that one. Nope, 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 no, I did not.
Other than Tupac and Biggie's death,
I do have bodyguards. My bodyguards are interdimensional. So you have to be from a certain mothership to be able to see them. And nobody can defeat them because they're assigned by God. And I'm God's favorite. So if God be for me, what? I ain't scared of no freaking clown. Book of Witness, chapter 7.
Jeffrey, I don't want them to make him the face of sex trafficking.
What?
Because they didn't make Vince McMahon the face of sex trafficking. But then again, they didn't find out. Well, they didn't raid Vince
McMahon. I think they did, Gene.
Find 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Well, they didn't find baby oil, but I think they raided it. Let me look it up. I did a video on Vince McMahon. And he is under investigation for something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he... Oh, we're frozen. Okay, let me see.
That shit ain't funny.
Yes.
Hey, Danny.
Look.
Thank you for the cash app, Danny. I appreciate it.
Let me show y'all this. I'm gonna leave Gene up. He's still talking, but
remember, y'all, if y'all cash app for me, it's Big Gene 10. For books, it's Big Gene 52. Donation is Big Gene 10. For books, it's Big Gene 52. Appreciate it. Cash app the donation. That nigga like I'm greasy.
I mean,
1,000 bottles of baby oil.
$1,000. So here's the Deadline article. It's
niggas choking on butt plugs.
What? Wait, did y'all?
Whoa.
What? Choking? I missed the choking on.
That's crazy. Let me see the comments.
Yeah, go read them.
32 comments. What the hell? What the? Y'all crazy in this chat, man.
They are crazy in that chat. They are funny in there. Baby oil. Can never look at baby oil the same. I know. Why baby oil?
The case is weak. Bro.
There's no evidence that has been presented yet.
I told you, first of all.
Please.
Evidently, you don't know.
Actually, some have.
They already got the one witness that they need. You only need one witness to do about 15 years for sex trafficking.
Oh, he's not wrong.
You only need one witness to do 15 years for sex trafficking.
And how many witnesses do they have?
They got the star witness and Cassie.
Yeah.
First of all, and they got the videotapes of the sex acts that were going on. So if 15 years is weak for you, okay.
So I don't know what Vince McMahon is being tried for, but he is being investigated, Gene.
Losing for death row, you can put that on the top of that list too. Like, those are probably the worst things that had happened to him.
The guy talking, his name is Gene Deal. He is a Diddy whistleblower, but he's been trying to, blow the whistle on Diddy for years and years. And he's a former bodyguard. He used to be Diddy's bodyguard and a bodyguard like on the security staff for Diddy. And he left. And when he left working for Diddy, he left for a reason, like something having to do with the incident, having to do with Diddy's mom or something. And now Gene Deal's been trying to tell us about this for a long time and has been getting suppressed, has been called everything but a child of God, has been called crazy, has been called all of this stuff. And as it looks, as turns out, he's starting to be proven more and more right each and every day, it looks like.
Somebody say he kept Johnson & Johnson in business.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yo, something is wrong with y'all, man. Something is really wrong with y'all.
Something is wrong with him, Gene. Thank you, Edie, for the $4.99 super chat. I don't know. I mean, people have their certain. No, I'm buffering. After
They would unseal the Biggie files.
They are unsealed.
That's what I need for them to do.
They're unsealed, Gene.
Unseal the Biggie files.
Which ones? Because they unsealed the CIA and the FBI the FBI and the DOJ have unsealed them years ago. Which ones do you need, Gene? Let me know. Law Princess will try and find for you. Okay? Because a lot are unsealed. They've been unsealed. Or do you mean open the case back up?
View T do. Listen, I just put that up there for you, for the people to see this, man. You know what I'm saying? You could talk, they could talk all the smack they want to talk, but they mad because people recognize real and they know he's using some of the stuff that I told him. So now he feels so embarrassed and so stupid that he's using the stuff that I told them because people has already said
he did. Somebody's asking, why did he not expose all this sooner? He has been. Like, I think 10 years he's been going on interviews, trying to blow the whistle to anyone that'll listen. He's described like trying to get the word out and how hard it's been. So he did. It's like been like 9, 10, 15 something years. Somebody who knows more than me put it down there, but he has been trying to tell.
King out there in the 314. Appreciate you for that cash out. No, yo, View T do, check it out. Nobody.
Tell them.
If you look at all the interviews about Biggie, Tupac, them being at the Quad Studio, nobody knew that Puff was there to spy on Big because of he was writing for Junior Mafia and Little Kim. Nobody knew that until I said something about it. He went back and tried to revamp what I've said and try to become a part of something that he don't know nothing about, other than what he heard. And now the interviewer had ever asked him, well, who told you that? Or where did you hear that from? He went on a line and said, Shane, or whatever dude's name is, said it, and he never said it. So people that pointed out a couple of things, but it's okay. It's all right. A lot of people didn't remix what Big Gene said.
What was the baby oil about?
You know what Big Gene know?
Who ate a dookie? Who's saying that someone ate poop? Why? Who did that?
Trying to say Big Gene. You see the prosecutor, he said from 2009. I was with Puff, me and Puff we met in 89, 90, 89. We was around each other. He came in the same gang member in 90.
Y'all see my comment? Y'all see my live chat I just left?
We was around each other till 2004, early 2005, somewhere around there. There's not one witness that came out that said Big G did this, did that. Nigga, listen to me. They're gonna have to say that, yo, he never did nothing.
He ate poop?
Like that. Yo, if I tell you, let's lock this door, because some people gonna die here tonight. And they die.
Not today, Brandy.
And I'm pumping 17-year-old kids' chest, trying to breathe iron to them. A 17-year-old kid.
So Christopher's saying that the baby oil actually has something to do with DRUGS.
When I tell them that we go to this party,
It just reminds me of, like, you know, whenever the last place I saw this come up was, well, of course, the Olympics. Then there was like the whole Poopygate tiered list that I did on BJ Investigates. And then Blippi with the poop stuff. And then, of course, there was the fecalis, E. colis fecalis or whatever, the fecal bacteria in Kim Porter's bloodstream. Then there's these ancient Roman and ancient Greek debauchery festivals where they did scat and pooped all over each other. The Blippi with the Harlem Shake poop. And it's like, why do all roads lead to poop? Then recently I saw it come up with the Mr. Beast verse with the Goon Clown, the child abuse, you know, ring that was going on. They were like trying to get kids to like enjoy poop and scat, SCAT. And it was like, what?
they gonna kill one of us tonight, or kill some of us tonight. I'm letting you know that.
What?
And arguably the greatest rapper of all time loses his life.
Oh, Lil Wayne's not dead. So no, that didn't happen yet.
And I told him not to. He ain't do nothing to me. Well, my man who would give his right arm up to this nigga.
Y'all, I didn't know he was gonna be saying this word. Sorry. I mean, he can if you want. I just, you know,
Get a right arm up for this nigga.
I like to blur the word out if I can, but he's live. I mean, this is what it is.
He lies and throw him to the wayside and don't do what they need for him to do for them. He ain't do nothing to me. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all already know. Hold on, I gotta say it. Hold on, where is it? Mia, sweetie. Here's the thing. I support people's right to do what they want to do. I really do. If they want poo-poo on each other, they can do that. If you want to eat it, you could do that. You should if you want to. But I'm shaming. I am shaming the out of you if you are getting your kicks off, your rocks off to poop. I'm going to go so far as to say something's wrong with you, actually. I'm shaming, I'm judging. I'm kink shaming and I'm kink judging, and there's nothing y'all can do to stop me. And there's nothing y'all can do to make me not do it. So I'm going to keep doing it. But if y'all want to, you can judge me for anything you want to judge. You can judge. I'm still doing what I want to do.
When he lied and tell my little nephew, I consider Mike Owens, aka Mike Cup. When he lied and don't not only pay his money back, this is a whole nother story.
We need a little shame. I agree.
When he don't pay his money back, when he's in that situation,
yeah.
He say, Lil D, I'm your godfather. When he tell that lie,
and I'm gonna keep shaming it. It's nasty. Sorry, something's wrong with y'all.
Family business. This was same gang business. This was slick in the family business. This was bad boy business. Mind your motherfucking business. Because everything I've been talking about, I've been minding my business.
Is that true, Gene?
I put my life online.
Okay, well, you definitely did do that. I would agree with that. Okay.
And rest assured, any nigga that know me from the streets, anybody know me from the work world or stuff like that, they know I would not allow Puff to do stupid shit like that. People commit crimes around people who commit crimes.
Is this true?
My foot so far up in his ass, he'd taste soup house. Ain't give a fuck about nigga. I kept jobs. Jobs is like the easy thing. Intelligent, big mo.
Wait. Could this have had something to do with what went down in that bathroom with G at the Chalice recording studios? They all went into the bathroom. I'm just conspiratizing. All right, let me see. Someone said pull up the AP Associated Press live stream. They outside at the house at the courthouse with Diddy, I think. Let's see. Play the video. Oh, nothing's here. Okay, nothing's happening here. So let me go to Twitter and see if somebody had Oh yeah, go to Duncan. I'm gonna go see. That's what I want them to talk about. Exactly. Story time with Bren. Why aren't they talking about the Chalice recording studio? Where is G? Where is G? Did he bond out? I don't know. I think it's all going on now. Somebody told me earlier that he's expected to appear. Messy Beautiful. I don't know if she's still here. She was here for hours. I mean, this is 3.5 hours I've been live. Okay. Okay. So what I'm looking for right now, Diddy is supposed to be appearing at 2:30 somewhere at a press conference, I think. Sorry, not a press conference, court. Diddy is supposed to be going to court today, again at 2:30. Let me see. Diddy court today, September 17th, 2:30. Where did it say that, y'all? Arraignment at 2:30 with press conference after. So what is an arraignment? Arraignment is where someone pleads guilty or not guilty. Based on what's been said already, we already pretty much can say he's going to plead not guilty. The lawyer is already saying that it was unjust for them to even charge him with this, which is wrong and stupid. But of the lawyer, right? Not chocolate donut. Sound like another story. Yeah, Fahim Muhammad, he's the head of security for Diddy, but he also was. What? That's not true, Zan. Is that true? I know Associated Press is live outside the courthouse, but they not doing nothing over there. Look, hold on, let me pull it back up. See? Nothing happening. I need to check my text messages. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave. And I think I'm coming back at 2:30. So yeah. I'm gonna come back at 2:30 if this is really going on, if there's really gonna be a press conference. I'm gonna come back because I just have other like work stuff I need to do. I need to upload some stuff and I'll be back. So thank you for hanging out. I'll be back later today. And that's all I really had. In the meantime, faxing, defamation, levy,